Right, everyone, welcome back. I have returned to the fray. I've missed you all so much, and I've come back to quite a surprise. That's the thing. I think this has been a phenomenal series of matches in the last couple of weeks, and of course, no more so than our previous matchup. I actually wanted to go there for a second. Of course, if you're a fan of Team Pingu, they're no longer with us at the moment, and that's a pretty crazy one for me. But of course, tonight we're going to see another team go home, and it's going to be a real cracker. White Rabbit Gaming taking on Aura Gaming. I believe it's safe to say that WRG are not in the form that they really want to be in at the moment. In these kind of matchups, they need to win. They need to prove that they are still one of the best teams in the country. And Aura, it would be an amazing accomplishment to topple WRG here. Of course, I am not alone. I am joined by notAhero. notAhero, are you looking forward to this one?
Oh, first of all, welcome back.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm kind of still stunned about Tuesday nights like that. Like you just mentioned, Pingu versus Hayes. A lot of people were pipping Pingu with the potential that the team has to be possibly a top 4, top 5 team. But if you ask Hayes Gaming, they're going to tell you a completely different story. They came to play on Tuesday night. They drafted really well, and their performance just pulled it through at the end of the day. They did third game, big ballsy play, and went for a last pick Meepo into not necessarily a really good Meepo game. And Pingu kind of tunnel visioned on it and kept trying to shut down the Meepo, forgetting that there's still a Phantom Lancer in the game. And they ended up losing that series and going home. But well played to Hayes Gaming. But tonight's going to be a cracker. Aura versus WRG. We spoke about WRG a few weeks back, saying that they're kind of not performing at the potential that we expect them to. And these players obviously know that, and they've been grinding hard, getting their ducks in a row. And Aura Gaming, up and coming side, been in the like Prem Division / First Division, up and down for the last few years. So quality side, definitely don't count them out. And if Aura comes to play and WRG does not, I think we're going to be seeing Aura Gaming going forward over WRG. But what WRG side is going to show up tonight, HellBird?
Well, as you say, I think that we almost would, a year ago, we would have seen this as a pretty one-sided matchup. We'd expect a side like WRG to just run away with it. But we've seen, I think in the last year in particular, that the levels of the Dota teams in South Africa are improving from they're improving from the bottom up, right? So we have phenomenal sides at the top. We have teams that are just unrealistically good in a way, better than I think we've ever had in South Africa in the past. But the bottom is also becoming more capable of bridging the gap and also potentially upsetting matches. When I think back to the days of, say, Bravado Emotion, I remember chatting with the guys, and they used to tell me that whenever they got into trouble, they'd just split push. Like, South African teams don't know how to deal with split push, so that's what they would do. But nowadays,
Can't do that anymore.
Yeah, you're not going to get away with the simple tactic to get out of trouble. And even sides that are theoretically much weaker on paper than their opponents, if they get ahead, there's a very good chance they will stay ahead. Especially at this stage of the tournament. We saw during the qualifiers, and I'd say some of the early stages, that some teams kind of struggled to end the matches that they were ahead of. I think there was that Medusa game that stands out in particular. I can't remember which sides were playing, but just sides struggling to finish the matchup when they were ahead. But at this stage of the competition, you'd expect all these guys, they know exactly how to deal with their opposition when they're ahead and how to apply pressure. With that said, obviously, White Rabbit Gaming, they are a side that have an amazing legacy behind them. And that's not just behind their MGO, it's behind some of the players as well. So they would definitely not they would not probably enjoy this line of conversation that would suggest that they would lose to, just anybody. And the reality is that, with that said, the sides from the bottom are rising up. They are applying a lot more pressure to the top teams. But WG, still by all rights, is one of the best teams in the country.
Yep. If you look at this team on paper, it's still a terrifying. But like we spoke about the up and coming teams, and maybe we like overthinking this. We're so used to the SA pattern of these are the juggernauts in the country, but everyone is improving, and the gap is closing. And I guess that's kind of, I think, a better picture, or painting a better picture for what's actually going on in SA Dota. Like, the gap between the top and the mid table and the bottom table is is definitely closing, and we have teams like Aura Gaming, Haze Gaming, which are looking like they're looking solid. They're playing really good Dota. Not a professional Dota team in South Africa, and like each one of these teams had a prem coach, and I coached one team, Cloud coached one team, Adastam, and all these guys jumped in, and we all coached these teams that are participating in a tournament. And then it was like team notAhero versus team Adastam, and when we did that, like me and Cloud had the discussion about it was so hard teaching these guys to shove lanes because that concept wasn't like aware to them. They didn't understand the concept of you have to you can't do anything in the maps if your lane is pushed in. If you win a team fight, you can't take an objective. If you then everyone has to run back and deep push the lanes, or you can't take Roshan, you can't take a tower. And winning fights by itself doesn't win you the game. And that's what they struggled with. And what I've been seeing in the last, like we've seen a little bit of this in this tournament, but I spoke to some of the teams and they were like, yeah, we listened to the whole lane shoving concept that you guys spoke about, and we started doing it, and it's really working. So, and that's what you get from these bigger teams, like those little mechanics. It sounds like something so dumb, and it sounds like, oh, but we all do that. But when you look at tight games, teams forget about it.
I totally agree. In fact, I could dumb it down even a step beneath that. It's something that I think a lot of people will immediately be able to engage with. If you're listening right now and you're thinking, oh yeah, you guys talk about this all the time, but you may not have really gotten that connection with what we're talking about. If you play on local South African servers exclusively, go do yourself a favor, ignore the ping for a minute, but go play on an international matchup, and you'll see there are things that we're not really as exposed to. And for a really simple one, I think, is the way people use their TPs defensively. I've noticed whenever I play on South African servers, I feel like I can use my stuns more liberally because it's less likely that a South African player is going to use their defensive TP out after a disable as well, or as quickly, for example. That's just like a little random one, and something that we all kind of know, but you can feel it when you play those matches.
And there's usually a teammate shouting at you, TP, 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 and then you realize, oh, I need to TP. So, yeah, I hear what you're saying. So, so those little mechanics is what the guys are getting from these tournaments. And like, if you look at the beginning of the year, like this is the first year we've had proper tournaments for everyone to compete in. The community has gotten behind it. Like EGL, I think we started with 54 teams in the qualifiers. And now we're left with, is it top 12, top 8, to top 12, yeah. And like going from 54 teams to where we are now, everyone's competing. And I spoke to the guys from MLGC Dunamis. They've been knocked out of the tournaments, but they were one of the wildcard teams that came through. And I openly asked them, what is your goal playing Dota in SA at the moment? And they were like, well, we need to get past BSL, we need to get past Frostbite, we need to then get past Pingu, then we need to get past Duck. We want to be top 5.
I really like that approach.
So good. Yeah, it was so good that they had like little stepping stones to where they want to get to. So they've always got a goal for, okay, this is the team we need to beat next, and then they work towards it. And then once they hit that, they've got the next one lined up, and then the next one, and then the next one. So that was really cool. And those guys like kind of know what they need to work on now because they can study those teams and improve. So really nice to see that mentality in the scene from up and coming MGOs or up and coming teams.
Well, that's it's so refreshing as well when you hear that kind of thing. I mean, I almost want to go and quickly spam or and be like, hey, who's your goal? Because it almost becomes a who's your goal. And it reminds me a lot of back in my playing days as well. We used to
well, their goal tonight is WRG.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But honestly, I remember back when I started Dota 1 in particular. Obviously, I was much more competitive in Dota 1 over a longer period of time. And I remember how it was when I started out. There were guys that used to look up to, like the Kais of this world. It's probably a name that people won't remember, but I would look at teams like that, and they would see so far away, and I wasn't even interested in a way. I was trying to beat the guys who were on the same kind of level, guys who were at similar skills, and then it just keeps growing on top of it. So I think that's a very refreshing look for it. But as you say, I think for Aura, you've reached this point in the tournament. You've earned it every step of the way. You came through, your qualifiers. You reached the point where you could face up against side like WG. You don't want it to end here. You definitely don't want to be in a position where you're saying, well, I guess that's the end of that. Thanks for having us, guys. You want to push it, and if you go beyond WOG, all of a sudden you almost feel like you're in striking distance, right? Like I'd say in a way that they're almost the gatekeepers of high-level Dota in South Africa at the moment. I don't know if you agree.
Yeah. Yeah, I think them, and I would say probably Duck. I would have put Pingu in that bracket as well until Hayes knocked them out. But I think like WRG and Duck is kind of like the gatekeepers to the top. And because I think WRG and Duck is both two teams that can beat any of the top teams on a good day. So if you get past them, then you're kind of like ready to hit that top 4, that top 5, because then you know your team is performing. So Aura Gaming on the cusp there, if they can pull it through to WRG tonight, then we're definitely going to be we're going to see a lot of people surprised, but we're also going to see our Aura Gaming squad with a lot of momentum. And the draft has started, HellBird.
Okay. I was definitely very into that, but hey, let's go ahead and jump into said draft and talk about what exactly is going on. So far we have WOG banning out the Treant as well as the Nyx Assassin, and on the other side of the river we have the Leshrac as well as DK banned out by Aura. They're going to open things up with their own Winter Wyvern and Tiny, and it's followed up by the Mars, which succeeds the Hoodwink for WOG. I actually wanted to ask a little bit about this, if you don't mind me once again tangenting slightly. I've been keeping an eye on the stats for heroes in this particular tournament, and what I find quite interesting is that Mars is the second most picked hero in the tournament at the moment, but he has a 28% win rate. And Hoodwink, which is the third, tied with Lion of all heroes, third most picked up hero in this tournament, has a 77% win rate, which is
the Mars one is pretty misleading because we have seen some teams run a middle. It hasn't been solely to the offlane role, and the games that I have seen them been running mid, I don't think I've seen a single Mars mid win in this tournament. So if you kind of have to separate those stats and see what offlane Mars win rate is and what mid Mars' win rate is, because Hoodwink Mars lane together in the offlane, it's pretty solid. You should have a good start. We see Aura Gaming picking up Tiny plus Winter Wyvern. I don't know how I feel about this Tiny. Tiny was picked 20 times at the major, and it had I think it was a 13% win rate. It was abysmal. The hero looked so horrible. You would see avalanche combos and people would just not die.
Actually, it's interesting you said, because I think that's what you need. You need some sort of. We often think of steroids as heroes like, a Beastmaster, so it has like an aura that affects a hero like a Moran or a Drow or something like that. But we don't often think about that Tiny is at this weird point where he actually needs a stimulus for his magic damage.
Yeah, he needs like an AA with Vortex on the ground, or a Skywrath or something. And it just makes the hero weird. Obviously they like it. It is a flex pick this early on. It can go pos 4 or middle, like in the old fashion. But I do think if you pick it at this stage, like you have to be playing it middle. As a pos 4, it just feels like it doesn't do anything. We do see Ursa, Juggernaut, and Puck taken out. All very nice carries, and the Puck has just been way too good. Even in the pro scene, plus this EGL tournament, the heroes look really strong. Leshrac, Dragonite, Dark Willow, and Faceless Void. This kind of tells me that Aura might be aiming for a Terrorblade. Leshrac has been picked up a lot against the Terrorblade, and Faceless Void is also kind of a TB counter, obviously because you can't Sunder in the Chrono. So, and also they don't have any. I guess Hoodwink plus Void is a combo, like really disgusting combo. You can burst someone from 100 to 0, but Void's really bad with Mars. So just banning carries, I guess.
Yeah.
Ooh, Viper picked up.
Well, it's a break of their own, so maybe that's the thought process, is if that you do have that. Actually, it's weird because I feel like you need to address Hoodwink and Viper in every draft now because of break. Like we keep speaking about this, is that the one item in the game that gives you break we don't like. So yeah. It's kind of a, well, you kind of want the Hoodwink, I think, is the preference over Viper, but I see Viper actually being banned out a lot more. Is that just because they want to limit the break options, or is Viper actually the better of the break here? I mean, obviously it's never that straightforward, but
we've seen a lot of Viper being picked up, and then people are just rushing Boots of Travels on the hero because his biggest problem is mobility. So even offlane Vipers or mid Vipers, I
think one of you mentioned that the anti-mage was picked up by Ping, you said, I think, so if I got that correctly, but The other they actually picked up was RDK, and that was in their matchup against BSL, which I think that was the game that they just.
They also lost. The game they.
No, I think they won with the anti-mage. I think that was one of the.
But that was not because of the anti-mage being strong. That was because BSL making like really silly mistakes, and Petunia having a giant's ring on a tiny, and standing in the middle of the throne and hitting it with a tiny, and no one's defending it.
Yeah.
Because they wiped that team with the Medusa draft. Medusa started pushing down middle, and never TP'd back to defend the ancient, and Petunia on the Chinese just destroyed it. So it's not to say that anti-mage even in that series looked good. So yes, they have won with it, but that game was theirs to lose, and I think their experience there pulled it through. It wasn't necessarily the carry hero, because that was Petunia with a giant's ring on tiny. Like that's why they won that game.
Yeah.
So
10 seconds
well,
remaining.
anyways, I'm interested to see what they can do with it. I do feel like I tend to agree in general that anti-mage just needs a little bit of love. Like the hero doesn't seem to be.
No, doesn't need any love. Don't want to see anti-mage
like,
buffs.
no, I'm down for some more. It's been a while since anti-mage is mad. I feel like there's always like a cooldown. You got to give some heroes an opportunity to get back in and be relevant again. And I feel like anti-mage has had his time on the bench. I feel like it's been long enough where we haven't seen him. Like there's certain heroes that just like they felt underwhelming for a long time, and anti-mage is definitely one of them. Sand King is not. Sand King is actually one of my favorite heroes in the patch at the moment. I think in a really good space.
Okay, so that's a mid Mars. Yeah, because that will be an offlane SK. SK can't lane against Viper. He'll get destroyed. Mars actually
10
can.
seconds remaining.
So yeah. We have seen this mid-Mars by quite a few teams. Like I said, I think the win rate for the hero is higher in the offlane than it is in the mid lane at the moment. He's going to have a good start so he can start putting pressure on these side lanes, so anti-mage can have a free 20 minutes before he decides what he wants to do on the map. But Sanking in the previous games that we watched has looked extremely dominant. It was a contested pick in all 3 games. And let me tell you, the team with the Sand King is the one that won every single one of the games. So,
well, yeah, I mean, once again, sorry, just throwing stats at everyone, but I'm kind of enjoying this, so let me have my moments. But Sand King has an 81% win rate in this tournament so far.
How many games?
That is, it's both the Haze and Team Pingu matches. It's the GHC versus Aura matches. That, it's not like just runaway victories because there's been a bit of a mismatch, like a top team versus somebody who exited the tournament very early. It's been a genuinely good pick, and the thing is, there's a lot going on with Sand King that I like at the moment. Like, Sand King's always been very difficult to push into because you just.
Or should just do. They can do Timber offlane, yeah.
Well, let's see if they
What
agree
are they
with
gonna
you.
do? No,
Yeah.
offlane Viper. Okay.
I don't like this, hey. Like.
So TA is in a weird spot at the moment. You can pick her with these carries, and she is looking extremely strong. Even when you have, like in the major, they were picking Terrorblade with TA. The hero soaks up different spots of farm at the moment, and with her buffs to the refraction, the shield, she's really good. Like she's extremely strong. She takes a little bit of the map farm in the early stages, and then she starts fighting. And then her farming pattern is more towards the enemy side, so it doesn't really take away from the carry. I don't like it for the purposes of that makes this a pos 4 tiny and Winter Wyvern support duo. I don't see where kill threat is going to be coming from the side from Aura. Like they don't really.
This is exactly what I was going with as well, is that one of the things I really don't like is that if you look at the support duo, which is going to be that tiny Wyvern, right? That's not... like, those are 2 heroes I don't think do particularly well in the laning phase. I think they have like moments of doing well, but it's not a consistent amount of pressure. Up against things like your Sand King and your Snapfire, there's going to be a lot more of that. But more importantly, they don't have a huge amount of disable. And you're playing against an anti-mage. Like, you're so reliant on that stun toss resulting in a kill that this anti-mage is going to be able to just blink around. It almost feels like a bit of a free storm game, but you're the anti-mage instead. I don't know if you agree, but...
I do agree. but it is still anti-mage, and I think the hero is pretty weak at the moment. I don't think that's their problem though. I think their problem is more when Snapfire, Sanking, Mars, and Hoodwink starts grouping up and running at you. What do you have to respond to it? You've got Winter Wyvern, Splinter Blast to clear waves. TA is a pretty good wave clearer, but she doesn't want to be in those engagements. I guess Viper can use Nether Toxin just to put it on the ground, but they've got, if Tiny doesn't get an early blink, they can't start a fight, and that I kind of see as the problem. Viper will have to get an early Boots of Travel, early Rod of Atos, and start running directly at heroes like Snapfire, Hoodwink, Mars. I don't think you're going to be... I think you just ignore this anti-mage and try and push down towers with a TA early deso. So TA needs to go Dragonlance deso really quick. They need to stack for her, and that's how they push down lanes. You just push behind this Temporal Assassin with a Desolator.
Okay, well, no shenanigans just yet. I was hoping to see you'll be welcome back into the embrace of Dota 2 South Africa with early first blood, but looks like teams are mostly just respecting their sides of the map. You can see a little bit of interest from the top lane from that guy just making his way up to his lane. Probably going to see if something
it's going to be pretty gentleman-y, like both teams just getting 2 runes. This is not what we want to see, HellBird. Like, what is this? We want to see... What was that game? It was a WLG game where they killed 5 people in the first 30 seconds of the game.
You know, it was 7 because there were some kills going the other way as well. So yes, but that's good old slow South African Dota. So I agree with you. By the way, I do want to make like a weird point. You know how we were talking about the steroid that you need for your Tiny? Obviously, in this case, you're going to see this Tiny not be as capable, but.
Viper.
Yeah, Viper actually works kind of like a steroid in this regard, and actually a beautiful little bit of cheeky damage onto Reaper. So, but particularly against the anti-mage, right? Like you break his mana and his spell resistance, and well, you can actually becomes kind of squishy.
Why did RDK take counterspell level 1 here? Just for the resistance against the Viper.
Yes. I mean, he's not going to trade with either of those two, right? Like,
yeah. You can also see he's got a Ring of Regen queued up. Like, I spoke to a bunch of people about this. If anytime you're landing against a Viper or a Venomancer, just getting 2 Rings of Regen or 1 and then rushing Ring of Health is how you kind of deal with this harass. And RDK, Ring of Regen, and he's rushing a Ring of Health. So, but he is taking quite a bit of damage. If he didn't have this counter spell, he would have had to have used a solve by now. Does he have a solve? Yes, he does.
Yeah, so Reaper also, he's been keeping a lot of pressure off RDK in the first level, so, but this is going to be really, it's just horrible, right? Like,
no, chopped out the lanes though, it's a mid-sanking.
I mean, that's interesting. I was going to say during the draft that I don't feel like Mars likes playing ST. I mean, just Refraction just stops everything that you do, right? I guess for Milipa, he can still just kind of farm against. I guess, is that the Omega symbol? I guess it's Omega?
It's Ohm.
Ohm.
Yeah. Right. So, what the Ohm on the TA needs to do here is kind of what Abed did against the Kunkka that he laned against. Anytime he's like, Abed is against a Dragonite or Kunkka or something like tanky in the lane, these strength heroes, he takes an early level of Meld and he kind of harasses with that because he can't trade with the Sanking that's gone 1-1-1. Like, Sandstorm will take off the Refraction and then the Acoustic will really hurt you. So, but if you take a level of Meld now, you can really bully the Sanking. Like, when he comes up like that, you just Meld hit him and he's going to think twice about, like, coming forward. So, I'll be he opted for another level of Refraction. That's not going to help him against the Sandstorm build. Should have taken Meld. Like,
I also want to point out that this is, like, Sanking to me, when he gets off a good start, and he's getting that good start, he becomes such a massive threat around the map because he is a blink disabler, tower defender, evasive hero. There's like a lot going on with this hero, and if you can play it well, when you get ahead, you can just win a game with Sanking. It's almost like an underwhelming late game hero. It's almost like the best thing it has is a disable and a slow. You know, so it's not like a great late gamer, but it's a flash farmer that can reach the point where it almost becomes like a baby alchemist, like a weird alchemist. Top lane, sorry. Precious Petunia taking a little bit of damage. It actually turned around, still being tapped by the Wyvern, and he will go down. A little bit
comes with the first.
He did not respect Arctic Burn. That's all I got
No.
for that one, I guess.
No, and PL's got 2 levels into the Spirit Lance. I don't think he expected that. You don't usually do this. You kind of get 2 levels of Phantom Rush because it's additional armor in the lane. But he took an additional level of the Spirit Lance, and that chunked him down, and the Arctic Burn ended up killing him. So, very, like, maybe that was in the moment that he item, like skilled that up.
A bit late.
But
A lot of damage goes onto him, but...
okay. Took a level of mold. That's what he, yeah, that's great. Like, normally you would, like, max side blades and refraction, but I wouldn't put 3 levels into refraction yet. Like, he can... I guess he's gonna start farming ancient soon, but the point in mold is really good. He can pressure the sanking now. It's not just gonna be a free game. And you spoke about the sanking before that fight happened top. So the nice thing that I like about this hero is he can either go Yules or Veil now, and if he has a Veil, they've got a lot of magic damage. Like Snapfire, Mars, Hoodwink, it's all just amped. So he can rush Veil.
RDK wants to finish the job onto Lightning, and there should be enough there. A beautiful engagement actually from Repo that just allowed RDK to apply his mind to the Viper and finish the job. And of course, the timing was pretty perfect because the Tiny was off to go stack, so he was not part of that at all. Well read, I guess, but I think that's because of this ward. I don't think they even go for that if they didn't see the Tiny.
These lanes are so hard to play. I'm also looking at like skill ball and the Viper. In a lane against this Hoodwink, would you have not just gotten extra levels of corrosive and not the 2 points in poison attack? I'm
Maybe
not sure.
He feels like he has to like apply pressure to
No,
RDK.
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just like contemplating what what I would have done in the scenario, and I would have been kind of stuck in between all of them, like not sure what I wanted to do. But this PL is having he's not having a great time, but Petunia is free farming on this Mars. So they kind of just trading farm 23 CS on the Phantom Lancer, 29 CS on the Mars. But there is some nice stacks coming out by the Tiny.
Again, Lightning again in trouble. He's lost his mana, so it will be difficult for him to finish the job. And he realized that as well and backs off. But this is not working out the Viper alone down here.
I have now definitely made up my mind. I would have put more levels into Corrosive Skin because you don't need mana for that. You're playing against the anti-mage lane. So having 2 or 3 levels into corrosive over poison attack just means that him hitting you effectively trading damage. He has the Ring of Health, he's got the Ring of Regen.
They're going to go on to Precious. He gets a decent spear back, but
what
in
just
the end,
happened?
He's just bouncing around, getting cookied, flying, and in the end, a little bit of juggling from, I guess, WRG. But
it was so confusing.
I think he got tossed and cookied at the same time.
And cookied at the same time.
So that's why I had this weird kind of, I don't know, ignored gravity hop type thing going on. It looks like Lightning will go down this time, and unfortunately, this is something that Aura can't really afford. This bottom lane is not working out, and they haven't found the kill just yet, but they will try again on Precious. He gets the cookie, and he gets off a lot of damage onto the Tiny. He has to back off, but I'm that guy. He hasn't been able to finish off the job. He starts turning his attention to Harry the Hams, but in the end, I don't think they get what they needed out of this. And although they do kill the support, I'm that guy is in a little bit of trouble here. Doesn't actually have the mana, I was going to say, for a Spirit Lance, and then he's brought down as well. They do bring in the Winter Wyvern, who's going to pick a fight with the Sand King, and although he does have the Claw Embrace, they'll probably buy a little bit of time for Sand King to get a couple more hits off at him, and buy him a little bit of time for that Burrow Strike, because that's really what he's waiting for, and that's what he'll take. Oh, there we go, should be the end of him. So 5-2, WRG stop pulling ahead. Bottom lane, the fun's not over yet though. Lightning in trouble. Nice little bit of damage coming out from the Tiny. They'll bring down RDK. Really important kill there, because he was starting to have a much too easy time in the bottom lane.
So the biggest problem from Aura's side now is these rotations and these little mini skirmishes happening on the side lanes. Even if it's not going their way, it's not the end of the world if this Templar Assassin pushes the mid lane at the same time that this is happening. But he's pretty fixated on these stacks that were made for him, and yes, it's going to accelerate his farm, but when the Sand King leaves middle, he should be shoving that lane into the tower, like consistently, because otherwise these rotations... Oh, bottom.
Again, the action on the side lanes. Repo trying to limp away from this one, but Miriam should be able to finish this. Should be. No, he's going to solve up. This means that this fight actually turns. He goes back, doubling around to Pez, but in the end, Repo just too elusive. Should be fine. Just a a toss available on the Tiny, so he realizes he can't finish this job. Does have the Soul Ring up, so might have another crack at it if he goes back up. Looks like they're going to give this one up.
Okay, so yeah, TA is now shoved in the mid lane. He needs to keep doing this every time the tanking doesn't show. And then these side lane rotations, it punishes it in its own way. So they have been skirmishing quite nicely. Viper's got 2 levels.
Skirmish again, and they're just going to try to bring down RDK under the cold embrace. A lot of damage actually done to him. Can they finish the job? RDK limping away, does manage to blink off. But Miriam's still interested in this, and if RDK shows himself, there'll be a lot of trouble for him. They managed to get the stun toss combination off. That was a little bit of extra flex, wasn't entirely needed, but that did force a 4-man rotation bottom, and they're going to have to take this tower down. But that's going to be easier said than done. I mean, RDK on the backline will be able to blink away to safety for now. Millipa on the sideline does have that epi, going to start chanting it up. He should be able to get right on top of 2 here, and Petunia gets the arena down as well. WRG, they get a big fight. This is a good one for them. But they've only picked up 1 so far. They do manage to push back Aura, but even if
RDK went down.
Even if this Tiny dies, it's not good enough, right? Because they've taken so much.
Yeah, he killed the anti-mage as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Tiny killed Miriam on the Tiny killed the anti-mage. RDK just like playing on top of the nether toxin, which is really weird. Oh, they're running at the TA middle. They're not gonna catch him. But the Winter Wyvern dropped the heal on himself, and RDK was like, well, I can still hit him because I've got mana burn. But Viper threw a nether toxin down, which breaks him, so he doesn't mana burn. He can't fight into that, and that takes away a lot of this anti-mage's damage.
What's incredibly significant about this as well is that, I mean, you were mentioning the fact that you have Omen, the mid lane, just need to push things out. Sorry, bottom lane once again. We're not allowed to break here. RDK gonna be caught out. I'm that guy. Manages to bait out the counter spell. But what's more important about this is that there's a friendly TA who's walking straight into a ward, but he's gonna stand his ground. Will get off a lot of damage. RDK finds a new friend with the Minotaur, the Centaur of Conqueror, dealing some real damage. But he's rushing Battle Fury. You kind of only do this when you feel you're not having a good time. And he's not. Look at the CS. He's got 45 CS. So I guess so that there's a PL, but Sanking and TA are sitting close to 100. Top lane. Precious Junior going to pick a fight with Miriam, and he will get the engagement off that he wants. Got Harry the Hams to help out as well, but he gets tossed back. He was actually looking for the cookie on himself, but surprise, get tossed back to my TA. And although that should be the end of it, again, these fights just aren't crisp from WRG.
Oh, and it's this anti-mage problem. Like, he's rushing Battle Fury now. He doesn't have boots. Oh, Millipa?
His top lane, they do once again engage onto the Wyvern, and they should be able to finish the job. Stun comes through, Miriam will get a kill onto the Mars. Yeah, this is not what you want if you are WOG. I don't think you really want to be taking an AM late game into a TA as well as a PL that's having a reasonable time of it at the moment. Cookie goes in mid though. Lightning is in trouble. They're going to commit the Mortimer's Kiss as well. They want to try bringing down the Viper, but he might. No, never mind. Looks like they might just give it up, but no. RDK was just making sure that he gets the last hit.
Yeah, so this Battle Fury rush is weird. Like I said, you kind of only do this when you feel you're not scaling. He has the Gloves of Haste, which is going to accelerate his farm. But now he's like 100% just full on rushing Battle Fury. And he feels he needs to play a bit of catch up. But he's on the same level as the Phantom Lancer, so it's not horrible. Phantom Lancer does have Hood, really good against the draft that WRG has put out. I don't like that Millipa as a mid-sanking rush Blink Dagger, because they're not playing with the tempo. I guess they're going on top.
No, top lane once again. Millipa will find the vibe. So he just wants to ruin this man's life. Sharpshooter also connects as well, and that's probably the biggest question mark right now for me for Aura, is that this Viper isn't really... He's not adding value yet, and that's not what they need. This is their off-laner who's just... Well, he's sitting very low on the net worth. He's sitting next to his time. And you may as well change Miriam at this point. But Miriam goes in deep, gets the toss back as well. It goes back onto...
Oh, good ulti!
A beautiful bit of work. And look at the TA. Oh no, he mistimed it. Which means they don't get the kill they're looking for. The FPC almost goes... In comes RDK! Precious Petunia. He's actually going to find himself potentially 2 kills here as the TA has to pop the refraction, but he was on an entire creep wave as well. RDK body blocking the Tiny, you have no mana, and they do manage to turn around, get the cookie connect as well. Miriam will be skewed away, but RDK is not done with him just yet. Keeps applying himself to the Tiny, and Tiny juking all around, but he is surrounded by WRG, and eventually they will kill you, and they do. WRG, that was weird because that had been how they had been playing this whole time. They had been the ones making those unforced errors, but in the end, Aura, they're going to regret that because they had that fight. That was theirs for the taking, and a couple of misplays end up with them falling behind. I know you want to talk about it. Give us your thoughts.
So there was no sentry when the TA hit Mold there for them to see her, and Tiny kind of like panicked, tossed to try and do damage, and he ended up tossing his TA, just like repositioning her, so breaking the invis. But after that Winter Wyvern setup, they should not have lost that fight. I don't know if Avalanche was on CD by that point, but they need to just kind of slow it.
Has been commit onto I'm That Guy. He is in trouble here. He's trying to stay alive. RDK blinks in after him. Does he have enough? No. Not enough.
How is he on a killing spree? He doesn't have boots. He doesn't have a battle fury. He's got a broadsword, and he's on a killing spree. Just right place, right time moments. Yeah, Aura just need to slow down. TA is extremely close to a full-on Deso with Dragon Lance. Just get this Dragon Lance before you fight. Don't join any engagement. I mean, not the Dragon Lance, the Desolator. Just get the Desolator. Go to your triangle. Farm the triangle space. But yeah, now they're grouping up to fight again. Like, because when they have this Deso on the TA, they are extremely strong, or stronger than they are now, because they can chunk down these Mars heroes. They have detection for the Sanking on the supports. Tiny, no dust. Tiny is close to Blink Dagger as well. They should not be fighting this.
There they go. They pick this fight, and they're going to just lose their Viper for free. The ulti comes out from the Winter Wyvern onto the Sanking, but he's mostly already done what he came for. They toss down the arena. Nice toss will keep things interesting as the Avalanche follows up as well, but the Burrow Strike is there from Milliper. They haven't been able to get anything out of this, and a beautiful bit of work from Repo. Keeps 2 caught out. They're going to have to do a lot of damage to the TA, but he does survive. The back line, Precious still looking for an opportunity. The Burrow Strike's good. Milliper under the tower will be brought down. In comes Precious, nice spear, but there was an immediate bit of defense that came up from the Wyvern, and now Precious very low, caught up by the toss as well. Will not hit with the God's Rebuke and should be run down here. Miriam and co trying to just make sure he never gets the opportunity to blink, and they will do just that. In the end, WOG pick a fight that honestly looked like once again it started well for them. They got off a couple of good Burrow Strikes there, but in the end, not a hero. They're going to lose their tower here top, and they lose a couple of important heroes too.
RDK is taking middle, so he's back in the game. His Battle Fury is up. Does he have boots on the courier now? Yes, he does. But that was very risky from... What?
Yeah, he was being cheeky. You got punished for it.
But Aura is playing like really risky gaming here. Like very ballsy, because Tiny... Did he not just buy the blink? Is this blink? Please tell me his blink's on courier. Yes, it is. Like, he was 200 gold away from Blink Dagger. TA was like, I think 600 gold away from a Deso. And those are big power spikes for them, and they decided to take that fight.
Take another one by the looks of things here. You can see Wyvern on the high ground. Looks like he will... I lied too. Sorry, you're not a hero. I'm just being rude and interrupting you.
No, carry on.
Oh, no, I have nothing for you. Tell us about RDK's boot. Oh wow, actually RDK is doing a lot of damage to Miriam, but he does have a massive mana pool, so he can't rely on that mana void. Of course, he's got to be careful because this is a little bit baity right now. I mean, surely RDK has to realize that there are foes coming in. Look at them just trying to slowly... He didn't kill the counter spell. He can toss him to the air as well. That's a very, very free kill. And man, he's going to be kicking himself for that one.
He blinked into the tree line and got stuck. I think he was dead regardless because the Viper was there. But Viper's gone hood. Very strange. I guess he wants to get a pipe for the later stages of this game for his team. And now he's getting rid of ASOS, so they have some catch. But insta smoke up by Aura Gaming. They're going to start making some aggressive movements. No anti-mage on this map. They've got their Blink Daggers on the Tiny. They've got the Death on the TA. So they've got a good timing going. They could oh, Sanking, Milliper.
Yeah, they're going to be a very odd skirmish breaking out around here, but it's going to be Repo on the sidelines who gets the attention of Lightning, and he should be brought down, and is. They are going to get the cross kill though. He's going to commit his epicenter, but they know he's here. They know he's still around.
No detection.
But as you mentioned, nothing there, and it buys time for Precious again. They've done a lot of damage to this PA, and they'll bring her down for free. Just waiting around, poor communication from Aura. They shouldn't have been in this situation. And now Lightning also in trouble. Fortunately for him, Precious does miss, but unfortunately for him, RDK is way too big not to be able to finish the job, and does so in style. In the end,
that was a big misplay.
What's going on?
Yeah, like that was such a big misplay. The moment they don't have to take it for that sanking, there's still a tier 2 right there. People can TP to that tower. Why are you hanging around? Like, there was no detection flying out that they think the sanking was going to leave the sandstorm, because he didn't care. Like, he just stood in it and waited for his team to arrive, and Petunia ends up killing the Templar assassin. So, very strange play. After that anti-mage kill, after the hoodwink kill, they should have just back reset and...
RDK? That's pretty aggressive. Burrow Strike comes in. They do manage to connect a lot of damage on them. That's all on top of the Viper as well, with the damage being done. But RDK, he stays alive regardless. You're going to buy back on the Wyvern. And once again, Minipa able just to limp around. You'll Burrow Strike onto the high ground, and they have to be careful here. They do manage to toss one forward, though. It was the PL who will not be able to connect onto Praise Jr. He's going to TP away immediately. They're still interested, though. Miriam is chasing down onto RDK, but he's got Harry the Hands helping out, and the damage is going to come out. The toss was good, though. Does buy some time. They don't have enough lockdown, surely, to deal with them, but they do have enough damage. So WRG, I don't know, man.
They should go Roche, yeah.
They agree.
Like,
they're going straight for the Roche pit.
Aura's got this. They're looking way stronger than WRG at the moment. They just need to calm it down a bit. It's a little bit angsty. They're not popping dust at the right times for the sanking. They're panicking around the sandstorm. Just calm it down. Like, the cores need to start carrying dust as well, not just the supports. Tiny's got a dust, and Winter Wyvern's got sentries. But TA's got an open slot. She needs to start carrying dust. Same with this Viper. And oh well, are they going to contest this?
Okay, so interesting pause. I'm going to just jump in because I want to talk about stat for just a second. It seems like the opportune moment. And we'll throw this one back to you to get your thoughts. But there currently is 1,000 net worth lead to WRG. The experience is also sitting at about 2,500, and the win probability is quite high. Considering how the game looks, it's sitting at a 62% win probability for WRG. That is all going to change big when this Roshan gets taken down, and it should be theirs. They've got this.
That graph is broken. That's not right. That's not right. Like, I'll openly say that Dota Plus graph is.
I agree.
It's a little bit cooked at the moment because the difference is literally just on the offlaners. Viper is on 5.7k where Mars is on 7.8k. That's the difference. TA is above anti-mage. PL is above Sanking and Mars, and the Tiny is above the supports, and then Winter Wyvern at the bottom. That net worth lead slash curve edge is 100% only on the like I said, the Mars and the Viper discrepancy. I guess it's the team fight like coordination that the graph is favoring, but I don't think I agree with that at the moment. I think Aura's I think it's 60-40 towards Aura at the moment.
Well, I actually agree with you, but like after Roshan, like, and that's the thing is, to me, if they do get this Roshan, then I'm going to totally agree. I think they're in a phenomenal position, but they have got this weird fight that's going to break out now. It's going to be very interesting because take a look at what's happening up the hill here. So they stationed Lightning as well as Miriam on the high ground, and they got double Burrow Strike, I think. Yeah, that's I'm actually no, the Viper's not there, but the Viper wasn't Burrow Strike, but he's in that kind of choke point regardless. The Tiny, he's coming out of this Burrow Strike in just a moment, but they do this time around happen to have some dust on them, so they can actually deal with the sanking and at least keep him up. But the support is coming in. They have the Press Junior Mars as well as Harry the Hams and Repo just flanking into this position. This would be an awful place for Aura to actually have to fight. So I feel like this could end very poorly for them. In a way, I almost want to say, see if you can keep Lightning away, sacrifice your Tiny, finish up the Roshan and get out of there. I don't know if you agree.
Yeah, I agree. Get Roche and get out. Your Winter Wyvern doesn't have ulti, so this is a bit of a no-go. Let Viper do as much damage as possible. Pop the dust. Nether Toxin has already been cast. Hit him with the Viper Strike, and maybe see if you can get a counter kill on the Sanking. Because if they get double bushwhacked now by the Swordwink, they're both going to die, which is probably going to happen. So just get the Aegis, back away, reset, wait for your heroes to spawn, and then go forward. Because they just kind of need to start playing towards their item timings. Like TA is pretty close to BKB. She farms really fast, so she should have that soon. Diffusal Hood on the PL. He's still level 13, so 20 minutes in, level 13 on this PL, it's pretty rough. He needs to kind of like getting a bit of XP, he needs to start getting a bit of farm. Because 20 minutes in, I guess it's not horrible, but this is stages where you want to start looking at like Phantom Lancer Shard and things like that, and he doesn't even have his Manta or SNY yet. Okay, he's going SNY.
I just want to say on the same token, like Lightning to me, and this Viper pick is not really working out very well, but they've almost been bailed out by Miriam. In my mind, he's had a phenomenal performance so far in this game. He's been very, very active and done. And it's funny because we were talking about how we don't really like, what Tiny brings to the table at the moment.
Crossback plays have been good.
He's done incredibly well. He's made the hero look better than I think it actually is, if I'm totally honest with you. But that's very fortunate because, unfortunately for them, Lightning isn't having a great time. He's got the hood. Looks like he is indeed going for the Rod of Atos that we discussed. But there's just not... it's not a threat. Like, almost feels like Viper is there at this point. Literally just to toss up the nether.
Like I said, in the pro scene, like, Vipers would have kind of mimicked the Sand build that Millipod did, except for the Blink Dagger. You kind of just rush Boots of Travel, regardless of what lane you're in. And you just start moving around the map, pushing out lanes or ganking people. And this Mana Boots Hood build, like, I understand the Hood that he wants to turn it into a pipe later in the game, but it's 20 minutes in, HellBird, and it's not a pipe yet. So
exactly.
That's a problem. He's a hero that naturally has magic resistance. Corrosive Skin gives you 25 magic resistance.
I need to know one thing from you before. I really wanted to go there. The players are back in. Had a question for you. Remind me. I really wanted to know about win conditions here. Let's see how these guys deal with it. It looks like they are going to pick this fight. Are they leaving the Roshan? They leave the PL to the Roshan. They're going to push out into the high ground. I'm very surprised at having Millipod. It takes a lot of damage. He's going to back off. He gets hit by the log, and it's going to be enough to bring him down. And Miriam's on the front line. He wants more out of the deal. Miriam running forward. In the back lines, Precious is trying to deal with the PL. Keep him out of this fight at the moment. Just buy a little bit of time. But Aura... they'll trade 1-for-1 in the end, but they pick up the Roshan as well. Okay, RDK pushing mid lane down. I think the top lane there is going to be a little bit more excitement as Precious blinks out into the tree line. They are pinging the general area. The Avalanche goes wide, but they're going to walk straight into him. And is there anything available? There's a toss available. Miriam will find out Precious, and he has limited options available to him. He's going to get caught out and slowed, and should be brought down fairly easily, and then gets good rebuke off, but that'll be the end of that. These are huge moments of this matchup. I'm now finding to ask, what are the win conditions here? What do Aura need to do to finish the job? What do WG need to change things?
I think win condition for Aura is to give that Aegis to the TA, not to the PL. Because she is your damage dealer at the moment. PL can still farm a bit before he becomes a massive threat.
Oh my word, the Burrow Strike on 3! So much damage came from the MP. The cookie is a little bit late, but it's not meaningless. They do manage to get off a really good Winter's Curse, but they just don't have the damage. No one there really going to be able to hit. They're going to line up the Sharpshooter, Wall Connect, beautifully read. Oh, what a beautiful little play there. Millipa does some heroics. I mean, what an amazing burrow into Epi. And RDK is using space to farm.
That's the thing, like the PL should be doing the same thing that RDK is currently doing, because he's going to be fight ready before the anti-majors. So he needs to not be with his team, and that's why I kind of said, I think they should have given this Aegis to the Templar Assassin, not to the PL, because she's your fighter at the moment, and Phantom Lancer still wants this SNY. He doesn't even have the Yasha yet. Like, he needs this SNY, and your Templar Assassin now being a damage dealer and a big hero, her BKB is like 800 gold away, and then she would have indirectly made space for this PL, and with that composition, they would have still controlled the map. I think giving this Aegis to the PL kind of forces him now to fight with his team when he doesn't really have his third item yet, HellBird. Yeah, well, actually, his second item. Hood is a half an item.
And it's also kind of weird since I realize that a Hood is different to a pipe, so don't get me wrong. But they already have a Hood on their team, so they already have the player who's tanking up a little bit in that regard. So it does feel like
you have to go Hood on PL. You have to go Hood on PL. It's the standard build.
I'm just saying that there's an extra thing missing from the team. You know, there's one other item that isn't there. So even though it's not necessarily on the PL or the Viper, there's something missing from the cogs at the moment. And I agree with you. I think that this isn't a farming Aegis, because I think you want to apply pressure. And right now, there's just not a huge amount going on for their team around this PL. This might be that moment. This might be the mistake they made, but they do catch out said PL, so I think I might appreciate that Aegis now. He's going to be brought down for sure. He gets a little bit of support from Miriam, but that is... Oh, well, I mean, can they make something of this? They actually want to turn this. They're going to turn their attention to Precious. He gets off the arena, and he does push back on the guy. That's where Aegis gone, and there's not a much they've done from it. Evesports gets off a decent ulti. It's going to mean that they will be able to finish the job onto the Sanking. Surely that hit will connect, and on the back lines, Miriam doing so much work here, trying to zone these two players. But on the other side of the ramp, Repo positions himself beautifully, makes a lot of trouble back here, but he should be brought down eventually. I say this, the support's coming in, RDK has arrived. And he's going to be caught up by the God's Rebuke. Lightning trying to do some work. They're going to bring forward the Anti-Mage and the Cookie illusion of him. They just fall apart. 4 for just the one. Why did you pick this fight? Pearsbot will fall as well. You lost the PL. He could have just doppelgangered out of there. But he decides
double
we're going to take this fight.
Yeah,
they picked this. They wanted this. And you kind of look at it now and just go, why? I mean, I think this game is decided.
Yeah, like they just kind of threw this game. Like we said, the Aegis should have gone onto the TA because she's your fighting hero at the moment. PL needed to keep farming until he has SNY plus another item, or SNY plus shard. Yeah,
he's trying to get out. Once again, Miriam doing what he can, but they're going to commit the arena, and why not? This game is... It's bizarre.
Over in the blink of an eye. Yeah, like it's just like poor, like... Well, not poor, but it's small little like item mistakes and like decision mistakes by Aura Gaming. That Aegis should have gone to the TA. They should have waited for TA to have a BKB before they took that last engagement. PL should not be in these fights, and I don't like this Viper Bull at all. Mana Boots hood into a Rod of Atos. Your offlaner is not contributing like an offlaner should. I'm not being condescending. I'm not being like rude. I'm just pointing out like things that they could have done that in my perspective to make this game better. He needed a Boots of Travel, and that would have accelerated his farm as well. They could have pushed out their lanes more efficiently and then played off this TA with Aegis. So it's not over yet. The Rax wasn't taken, but now it's a uphill battle. Look at the PL's net worth. He's sitting slightly above Snapfire. Yes, okay, it's 2,000 gold above Snapfire, but he's behind the Mars, HellBird. Like, that should not be happening.
Honestly, this was... I was thinking as you were making the criticisms of this game and how it's played out, that's exactly how Aura are going to feel. Like, nothing you've said is unfair. It's like a little bit of itemizations that went right. And that fight, you literally look back and go like, we could have just let the Tiny die, for example, and get out our PL. There was a slight misplay, I feel, that he used his Avalanche whilst the PL was still respawning. So he didn't have that extra little bit of time for him to disengage, and maybe that's what they were thinking. But in reality, Aura was so close to winning this matchup. They might still, I mean, I think right now it'll be a tough ask, but it's not over just yet. But they'll literally look back at that moment and say, why? Why did we bother? Why would we even bother taking the fight?
Viper is below Snapfire net at the moment. He's basically become another support with this item build that he's done. And like just for like
Miriam, what a beautiful bit of work here. Actually connects onto RDK and they do a lot of damage to him. Maybe they can still turn this fight. They're going to commit the Winter Wyvern ulti onto the Snapfire. He's not going to get killed because just a Sand King beating down him. Pressure Fortuna wants to get more out of this. Will go in with the arena and catches up Miriam. But it's not there that the fight rages on. RDK, he's taking a lot of damage. They haven't been able to finish the job on anybody just yet. As they bring in the PL as well back into the fight. Miriam backing off. In comes Pressure Fortuna. Will kick with the Spear of Mars. And they're going to use Hoodwink as well. Just keep them all cuddled together. As in comes the Sand King. And the damage has been dealt. The Salt Fuels was there to make sure he was at no real threat. Managed to get out. And Lightning wants to make himself useful. But here's the thing. RDK on the back line is still doing work. And he's just limping around with absolutely no HP. But what does it matter? I mean, hey, you don't have the Disabler anymore. Right now, both your Disablers are dealt with.
It's a rough game at the moment. I don't know how they're gonna pull this back. They need to slow this down. They need to shove out their lanes. Viper's going Greaves next. Is he being silenced by anything? No. Like it. Like 30 minutes or 35-minute Guardian Greaves. What is the... It's 250 heal, am I mistaken, HellBird?
I mean, to be perfectly honest, it's right now.
It's 300 heal. 300 health in a 35-minute game, guys. It's not going to keep you alive.
No,
and there's nothing really that he needs to dispel.
That's what I was going to say, is that he's not going to get that ability off. If that's the intent, he's just going to get chain stunned, and then, you know, okay, well, you'll die in an X-ray from RDK. Like, that's probably the best case scenario.
Yeah, get a Lotus Orb, or, like, I don't know. I don't like this Greaves pickup. It's the old school Viper build, but I don't think it's going to help his team in this regard. It's too late in the game. A Pipe would have done more earlier on, but so still trying to pick themselves back into this game. It is a 13k net worth difference at the moment, and they're struggling to kill this anti-mage. So anyone gonna go for a sheep? I have seen some Templar assassins pick up sheep, but she's opting for the blink dagger. I do think that's the right choice. Winter Wyvern is still
going the blink and then into Scythe of Ice if the game goes that long, because it does give you an instant disable that can potentially help you deal with the RDK anti-mage, which now is becoming a real problem. I mean, he's finishing up his Abyssal Blade. He's big. He's really big, and he's just had so much space as well. The last 10 minutes, it just doesn't feel like there's been any forward momentum.
Yeah, momentum's a better word. So PL should still not be with him with this push. Like, he's got the shard now. I actually think what he needs to do in this scenario is go the build that BSJ and then we're experimenting with. He needs to go Aethelins into Octarine Core, and then basically what you do with PL is you're not actually even in the fight. You're just constantly sitting in the background throwing lances at people, and they can never like fight your team because it's burning your mana and it's doing a lot of damage. So he has queued the heart, but in a game like this, I think this is where you go the meme build. You go the build that everyone says is broken, but no one wants to try, and just get a Aethelins into Octarine Core instead of this heart. It is going to give you HP, so and you just keep throwing lances at these heroes. That's how you deal with it. Just don't chuck it onto the end.
Caught out pressure for Petunia, and he is mostly alone here. Missed with the God's Rebuke. Miriam's still interested in this. Does have a toss available. BKB has been committed by Precious. The support is slowly making its way in. They're going to commit the ulti from the Winter Wyvern. Lightning very low. They haven't killed either just yet, but in comes again. Beautiful double stun toss combo. They haven't been able to finish with the Mars, and Milipa, he's just boogieing out of there. Look at the damage coming out from the TA though. But the cheese pop. Self-heals as well, going to keep himself alive, and this all to buy a little bit of time in. Burrow Strike was decent. Miriam once again goes for it. Doesn't connect with the toss, but does connect with the Avalanche. And now Milipa in...
There's a nice detection!
No one can deal with this.
No one has detection!
Well, they're going to be careful actually, because Milipa's got support coming in. It's been really slow going. RDK in the top lane, just farming away, and look what he's doing at the moment. This poor Wyvern just put him. They do manage to control him. Can they finish the job? RDK very, very low. In comes the Burrow Strike, hits through again. In comes the arena. In comes Mortimer's love. And guess what? Once again, White Rabbit Gaming are just pulling ahead with it. They're going to bring down the PL. RDK super low. Doesn't matter. Has the ages. They're going to pick up 2 in the back line via French Petunia. Back make that 3, and they don't even break a sweat. RDK comes back to life at full HP. They're going to go straight back in onto the Wyvern. He's very low, does get bailed up. The toss is there, but it's only going to buy him a little bit of more silent points and he goes to his grave. I'm that guy, wants to be able to finish off Repo, but he's got the Ghost Scepter, so he survives as well. They're keeping themselves up alive so well here. Finally, they do find something. It's just Repo that falls though. That is just the support. In they go into the Mars. Into the fountain, I mean, the Mars into the fountain, as RDK still has a job to do. They go back in onto the TA and all the mana gone. BKB finally does get popped, but it's only going to be enough for him to run away. You realize though, with Milipa still up, hitting 7 hero Burrow Strikes at this point, they know that they have a problem to deal with here, and their racks should be brought down here. I don't think they have the guns to stop this. Right now, in goes the hero of this Aura side, in my mind, the Tiny, but not going to punish him, they're going to respect him. They head straight back, but look at Milipa, he's winding up the LT. We'll actually use it, in comes the cookie. They do finally commit with that Burrow Strike, but immediately again, just heals himself in the air, make sure that any dust isn't going to be a problem for him. and he immediately backs off again. But RDK will get tossed back. He does immediately blink away though. Nothing available to just slow him down. And as soon as that counter spell comes out, obviously no one wants to touch him at this point.
Yeah, so that was such a disastrous like series of events for Aura Gaming. This PL shouldn't be fighting with this team. Like, I know they're hitting your base and like you kind of reacting, but Devin here, his items hasn't moved. He's still on 11k net worth. He's got a Yasha with a hood and a diffusal blade. That's it. In a 33-minute game, they've just been over eager to fight with this PL when the TA was enough, and now TA is not enough anymore. So it's kind of like snowballed out of control by being forced to fight, and it all goes back to that Roshan stretch. So they just kind of need to shove out their lanes extremely. The TA take the side blade, the trap damage. Yes, she did talent. The TA took the 180 psionic trap damage talent at 15, and she needs to start like spamming them out. She needs to get shot as well, and if she can get to Ags, then she can kind of like start split pushing this game and delaying it. Viper is still committing to this mech build.
WOG don't seem keen. They want to finish the game right here, right now, and they just destroy the Wyvern. That's an important pickoff. This does mean that they don't have to worry as much about the position. Bear in mind, Tiny's been great. Does go straight back in. The tosses there. It was RDK. He caught out in the end. He blinked forward. A lot of damage being done. In comes the epicenter. In comes Mortimer's Kisses as well. And it does look like Aura are going to be tossed into game 2 the hard way. RDK stalks his opposite number. In comes the Burrow Strike. Don't go anywhere because I want my godlike and I will get 5 for 1. GG called. WOG looked so much better in the last, I'd say, 10-15 minutes of this matchup than they had throughout the series so far. And Aura just fell apart, man. I want to go see how PL changed from the laning phase to the climax of the matchup. Because I bet you he had probably the same impact in the laning phase as the 14-15 minutes that followed.
Yeah, like his, I think it's just a little bit over eagerness to fight, and if that's your team's playstyle, that's fine. But then don't draft a Phantom Lancer. Like I know Ursa was banned, but pick something like Ursa, pick something like Ricky, heroes that can like fight early if that's your playstyle on a team. But picking this PL and him not getting an item for probably 10 minutes in the game, he had S and Y queued up, he got the Yasha, and then he realized, well, it's too late now, I need to go hot. And he just never scaled. He was 1 for 8 on this Phantom Lancer. So they also need to prioritize like farm on their cores better. Like they too fight eager because Viper as well. Viper had 8,000 net worth. Hoodwink and Snapfire both ended above him on the net worth. Tiny was on par with him. So
I mean,
just need to slow down a bit. That's all.
It was also weird because it felt like they didn't want to play that kind of game. They had this Tiny that wanted to roam, and honestly, I do think Miriam played phenomenal Dota. He was my pick of Aura by far, but you left your Viper alone, which gave a lot of space to RDK to kind of catch up because he didn't have an amazing start. He was kind of in those side battles early on. But if I look at the net worth and the player net worth, at 10 minutes and you're pulsing at 3.3k, which I'd call a little bit shy of where you want to be, but nothing terrible.
We were part of the AM, so it wasn't...
so fair enough. But then at 20 minutes, you're at 8k. You're kind of still up there. Still fine. But then in the following 15 minutes, so there's nothing. There's no movement. It's not even a completed item that happens after that point.
So when your PL is in his max farming stage, is obviously when he has like this diffusal plus like Yasha up. And 20 minutes and he had 8k net worth. 30 minutes and 10 minutes later, he had 11k. He got 3k net worth in 10 minutes. Where in the first 20 minutes, when you're supposed to be farming slower because you don't have items yet, he got 4,200 net worth. So in his top farming duration, he got 3k net worth, less than the first 20 minutes. So that just summed it up. Like that Aegis going to him, like kind of made them forced to fight, where they could have just given it to the TA. But let's not give anything away from it. Like Petunia with the Mars was making like really good plays. The Harry Thams on the Snapfire always followed up. Millipar was a nuisance on the Sand King. And once RDK got going on this anti-mage, they weren't dealing with it properly. But their draft wasn't allowing them to because no stuns.
Yeah, I think that's... Well, look, I tell you what, let's take a quick break. Let's get give it a little bit of a reset button, because I think Aura also, there's almost a game of two halves that we saw here. I think that there's a lot that Aura have shown they can do, and I wouldn't be too surprised if we do go to game 3, because they did push WG further than, or like far enough to justify it. You know, that's kind of my thought on it. But anyways, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back soon. Don't go anywhere. Game 2 coming up shortly. All right, welcome back, everyone. Game 2, White Rabbit Gaming taking on Aura. It's going to be an interesting... Oh, wow. It's going to be real interesting because we're starting already. Be straight into the draft. We'll give it a second for the players to start picking. You can enjoy us for in our maximum size for a little while
Let's
longer.
talk about some free stuff, Devin.
You want to talk about free stuff? You know, I always like free stuff, and I was very sad because when I was on my little vacay, I didn't get any of the free stuff, and that was my opportunity to win said free stuff. I'm kind of interested to know what the free stuff is. I believe today is
the shirt.
It's the shirt. The one that I want, the one that you may notice I'm still not wearing, which means that I'm going to, after you win it, drive up to your home and steal it out your window, most likely. It is going to also do the same. We're going
Beat
to
someone
share
up.
the shirt. The next time you see
Beat
us,
someone up and
you'll
take the
be
shirt off his
sharing
back.
an EGL shirt that you won. I mean, that's okay. Enough of this.
Like he gets it in the week, you get it on the weekends type of thing.
Anyways, so look, just on that note as well, obviously, if you want to win that shirt, if you want to tell us that we're your favorite casters or that you hate us, if you want to support either of these two sides, come be counted, come join us on the YouTube channel. Obviously, the Facebook one's also there, so you can also get involved in the chat there. But mainly, if you want to win a shirt, you got to come to the YouTube channel. And the easiest way to find that is literally go to YouTube, search for Evesports, and you will find this game is live and ready to rumble. But it is live and ready to rumble, so let's start talking about the draft. Let's go take it there. Leshrak and Mars banned out by the Radiant, which is actually, of course, Aura, and the Treant Protector and the Nyx Assassin have been banned out by White Rabbit Gaming, who currently lead. And they pick up a very interesting starting duo. It's the Jakiro and the Rubik, which follow up the Hoodwink that Aura picked up first. notAhero, I don't think it's an opener I've seen in like the longest of times. Jakiro Rubik?
The WLG does this a lot when they game up. Then they come out with like these types of things where like what do you kind of want to play? And RDK is drafting. Is he normally their drafter? Isn't it Repo? Repo is usually their drafter. Why is RDK drafting? Maybe, I don't know. But they tend to do this type of thing when they game up, and they kind of just come up with like comfort, and they try and have a bit of fun. So I don't like it though. Like, we haven't seen much Jakiro at all. I think there are supports in the meta. Like, Lion was not banned. You could have picked up Lion. I don't like the hero, but he is very meta at the moment.
I know what you love.
And Rubik just feels weird at the moment. Like, even at the major, they asked all the pros.
Look at that.
There's the Lion. Yeah. So, they asked all the pros at the major, like, why isn't Rubik being picked? And all of them said, like, we don't know. It just feels bad. And...
Okay.
No, 100%. And Dota is about feeling. If it doesn't feel good, then you shouldn't be picking it. And Rubik has just not been able to keep up with the pace of the mid games. And I think it's to do with the status resistance. And status resistance has become so viable, and he doesn't reduce it anymore. And yeah, the hero just doesn't feel good. So they have done Jakiro Rubik. So you can't pick Rubik into Jakiro and steal Ice Path, obviously. But Aura responded with Hoodwink plus Lion. So,
that's almost as standard as in. Well,
I don't like it. It's two supports as well.
But it's two supports. But we did actually see the Hoodwink being run in off lane as well in this tournament. So I don't think that's where it belongs. But
that person should get, I don't know, talking to by his mother.
T-shirt, maybe they should get T. And just once again, I just say EGL once in chat, please, not multiple times, just the one time. And of course, you can win yourself a T-shirt. It's actually a really cool shirt. I'm not even kidding. You know, I was looking at my closet yesterday. I have a couple of them. I think I have like a, if I'm not mistaken, I think I have an XD one, a Ventus one, which is, if you remember Ventus and you're as old, then you're old, right? And then a couple of like hats and that kind of thing. I don't have enough shirts though, but I have a Salt hat, but I don't have a Salt shirt. Just
well. Salt hoodie shirt.
But yeah, there we go.
Like, what do you want? But anyway, Faceless Void taken out, Sanking taken out, Lifestealer taken out. Then WLG respond with Ursa, Juggernaut, and Wraith King. Oh, that means they're setting up for a Faceless Void pick. They just banned Wraith King. So RDK wants to play some Faceless Void. He's probably going to pick it for himself. It also takes it away from Aura, because in the previous game when they had the Hoodwink, the first ban immediately afterwards was Faceless Void. So he kind of I think it's going to be a deny pick plus a pick for them. It's pretty good with Jakiro. It's a strong laner with the Jakiro in the lane with him as well. So I won't be surprised to see if we see a Faceless Void come up here. So, and Juggernaut and Ursa are like 2 heroes that you don't really want to chrono. I guess you can chrono them, but you don't really want to. If Ursa enrages and you chrono them, it's just kind of a feels bad. So, but what is Aura setting up? They banned. Oh, they're probably gonna go Timber. Like they banned Lifestealer. He is a strength hero, but he's one of the heroes that lanes better against Timber than other strength heroes. And Timber Lion has been neither team has touched Dragon Knight. What is going on? Hero had a 62% win rate out of like almost 100 games at the major. Ooh. Is that a carry axe?
I don't know, but like I feel like if you're picking a hero that you just feel like playing, if that's how WG are responding to this, then that's a carry axe. I'm not gonna lie. It really does feel like a really weird hero at the moment. Like it feels like Axe is just. You know what the weird thing is? It feels like Axe is actually just a hero that's meant to do something else, but is now broken, so it can just do whatever it wants. Like that's kind of how
they've been trying to make Axe a carry for a long time. If you look at all his talents, he had a 20 attack speed talent, and then they changed it to a 50 attack speed talent, and then he had battle hunger damage like at 20, and they've been trying to make this hero carry for such a long time, and all you had to do is give him something that increases his proc chance to spin, and I love it. It doesn't work all games, but the games that it's good, it looks completely broken. So they have to now respond to this carry axe. And the problem with picking up 2 supports like they've done here, Hoodwink plus Lion, if they picked a core with one of these heroes, you could have picked something like Tusk now that can actually like counter this axe spec. We've seen a lot of the pro teams do Undying against it because it doesn't necessarily hit the tombstone really fast until like the late game, until it has an AC. And then you can just like kind of mess with this Axis game completely because he's not having a good time because there's a tombstone or there's a Tusk snowball saving people that are called. Well, that's good. Luna is really good at the moment, and I analyzed quite a bit of her games, and me and you had a discussion a few weeks ago about how Luna feels really bad. Like you can be 6 slotted and another carry is like 4 slotted and he just beats you in a 1v1.
10 seconds remaining.
But what the pros are doing is like they found that Luna is really good with heroes that are like single target DPS based. So we've seen a combo a lot with like Lion. We've seen a combo a lot with Lina in the mid lane because Lina like solo combos down the Luna's biggest threat in the team fight, and then Luna has free roam on what she wants to do. So and with that it's had a lot of success. Oof, Invoker?
So I wanted to say, what do you think the chances is a 1 position Rubik? Because
1 position Rubik.
Yeah, I mean, because if you, the thing is, like, you could do it, right? Like
the last game was not a stomp, Devin. Like they did not look dominant the last game. Aura had that last game in the palm of their hands, and like small little item choices and like map decisions has cost them the game. They, in those early engagements, they looked like the better team, and it was just like small little misplays by them throughout the game, and then WRG kind of like getting their script together. That's kind of what lost them a lot. I don't think you can meme too hard here because
I agree.
You didn't stomp them.
Yeah, no, in fact, once again, if I was Aura, I'm gonna watch this game back and be like, man, like we had this. Like this was our matchup. We gave it away, and in a way, I'm kind of happy because it's nice to see that Aura are testing those waters and they're reaching that point where they can really threaten a side like WRG. But now you got to win this one. Now it's time. Like you came close before. WRG have a pretty unconventional looking lineup so far. We don't see as much.
Dragon Knight. If they don't ban Dragon Knight right now, Aura should pick Dragon Knight. Dragon Knight offlane will. It's so good with Luna. It's that single target stun slash like semi burst that we spoke about. Axe can't really like solo kill Dragon Knight until like super late, and if he like scales him, they've shown their mid hand. They should do Dragon Knight now. Like WRG should ban Dragon Knight, yeah. I can't believe Dragon Knight and TA has made it this far into the draft. These heroes are extremely broken at the moment. They are broken.
I just want to check something. Are any of these? Going back to my stats. I want to see something quickly here.
Centaur ban. They should pick DK. They pick Clockwork? What is going on here?
It's a mid
No, man.
park then.
No, that didn't tell me that's an offlane hoodwink.
I think it's a... You see, you doubted me, and it's going to be one position, Rubik.
I don't like that. Like, how is Clockwork better than Dragon
10
Knight here?
seconds remaining.
Like, I don't know. Like, Dragon Knight plus Lion Lane is so good. Like, you've got
5
kill
seconds
potential.
remaining.
Like, you can bully the carry, like, consistently. Maybe they haven't practiced it much, but Clockwork also single target focused. Like, he can support the Luna, but this means it's either a pos 3 Clock or a pos 3 Hoodwink, which I don't like on either of them. The heroes do the exact same thing from pos 4. They're not heroes that rely on, like, items. They just need levels.
Drow Ranger.
Drow
Now
Ranger.
select your heroes.
That's like the old, like, kind of pick draw behind an axe thing. Like, I feel like that's...
Such strange drafts. Like, neither of these teams are really following, like, meta-orientated drafts. I guess Luna and Lion is kind of like meta with the puck, but then you've got Hoodwink and a pos 3 Clockwork. That's a pos 3
That's...
Clockwork.
Yeah, it's... I was going to say, Lightning's the
Yeah.
offlaner, so
Yeah,
that is
and
a
then-
mid-park, a 1
Yeah,
Luna, and a...
I don't know. Like, what do I know about Dota? Like, we've got Jakiro, Rubik, and Drow Ranger in a draft, and then we've got a pos 3 Clockwork with Lion Hoodwink supports.
It's kind of a weird one for me as well with the clock, because you did lack that front lining unit. So I think the DK does, you know, check that box quite nicely, because you do have the tanky friend in the front lines. Also, I've until
Dragon
you get
Knight
the-
and Templar Assassin should not have gotten through as far into the draft as it was, and neither of them was picked. Like, that is horrendous. So both those heroes are 60 to 70% win rate heroes at the moment. They look completely broken. So I don't know.
I just want to say I have a bit of an issue with Aura's lineup, because they are so fragile. You know, the
Yeah.
Clockwork is probably the tankiest of the lot, and even in a 3 position, Clockwork's just not a particularly tanky hero. He's a mobile hero.
Yeah,
So
DK
you
would have
have-
done everything this Clockwork does in this draft, plus more, and he's tankier.
And here's the thing: I feel like if you are Aura, and let's say you get like a really great hook shot, right, and you probably want to nail the Drow or the Invoker, right? Like that's who you really want. So you get
Rubik
both
has
of
shard and just lifts them out of the
them.
cogs.
Well, I was gonna say, let's say you get both the Invoker and you get so you get both of them in a cogs, right? And they start panicking and they just right click
tornado.
towards base. No, just deal with me for a second, right? So they get caught in the cogs, right? And they both just start panicking and just right click towards base, not breaking the cogs. They just become like a static unit. How does Luna and Co get into that fight? Because let's assume that the other 3 players.
Good with
on the
Luna,
side-
because the AoE of the Eclipse is pretty big, and you can combo the Clockwork with the Hoodwink as well.
The
but-
point is that there's nothing in their team
don't know.
that wants to fight.
It's just better
other than the
heroes.
Clockwork, because the moment that the Clockwork is in, if you run at the Luna and Co, like, yes, obviously, you know, you don't want to run straight into an Eclipse, like that's not smart.
Oh,
but
Puck
the
is a
point is that
pretty,
they don't
Puck
want
is
to
a
stand.
pretty active hero.
Sure, who stands their ground? Everyone's going to be wanting. My thing is, I think they're all going to want to be running backwards. The moment the clock has done what the clock does, none of these heroes want to stand their
They
ground.
wanna, yeah. I think what you mean is they kind of want to be kiting and like evaluating what they want to do next in these fights.
Exactly.
So,
and
yeah,
if
I
you look
agree.
at the opposite,
I agree.
like, you have these things like Jakiro, which is a tanky guy. He doesn't mind like showing his face. You know, the Axe obviously wants to be in your face the whole time. Invoker is, you know, once again a hero that will pick fights with your one-on-one. Obviously, the Drow Ranger feels like he has
Yeah,
to.
but then on the
tackle.
other side, you've got Jakiro plus Rubik. And Drow Ranger. Like,
Okay, I do think WG is going to suffer a little bit behind these 2 supports early on, because as you
Jakiro
point out-
never feels bad though. Like, it's kind of a hero that never feels bad. It never feels like amazing, but it never feels bad. So
Well, let's see what's going to happen here. So Lightning is going to go in and pick himself out a bounty run. Means that they're going to go 2-piece, but they actually might lose the Clockwork here. Nice little bit of body blocks coming out from Harry. The
Yeah,
Hams
Harry's
and
blocking him.
Precious on the high ground as well. They're all
Precious
converging
is
here.
damage.
Well, they should be able to finish with Lightning. Nice cogs, but he does manage to get the deny from the cogs.
What is going on?
But he goes the other way. They will lose the Invoker though. And-
Drow is out. Onika's
Oh,
like, nope.
Harry the Ham
I'm
so
gone.
low. What a weird. And I love how, you know what this is like?
People are still.
This is so weird. Everyone kind of had to retreat from mid lane. It was almost like, I don't know, like everyone went to a party and everyone spilled a beer at the exact same time. So everyone was sitting there with their beer on the floor, or you know, Coca-Cola if you don't drink.
RDK in the middle of that. People are still hitting each other. He was in range to hit people. He just goes like, "No, I'm going to my lane. Screw this." Starts TPing. Like he was just over it.
Well, this is the thing, they're all mid, standing around their spilt beverages. We're like, actually, guys, like I'm kind of done here. Like, this is awkward now, and everyone just
yeah, this is not even. This is not what I wanna be.
everyone just agreed that it was time to end. But okay, so I think, well, so wait, who actually got this? It was the Luna that got the first blood. So that definitely doesn't hurt your chances, must be said.
No, and Luna lanes pretty well against Axe. So Luna's kind of this carry that's come like I said, like with single target heroes, she's very good, but she's kind of become the carry that's good against these strength offlaners that we've seen prominent in the meta at the moment. She counters Timbersaw pretty well in the lane. She's pretty good against Axe. Once I think the Lucid Beam is level 2, and once she's like 5 and she can. Oh wait, Jakiro going down.
Yeah, he was being cheeky in the top lane, decided to stick around for longer than Miriam was happy with, so does pick up.
But how does he lose that trade? I missed it, but Jakiro's got 740 HP and 3 armor.
He didn't start healthy, let's put it that way. He wasn't the healthiest.
Okay, so he's stripped down from that mid brawl.
Lane. This is a big kill if they get him. Minipa very low and will be brought down. Fortunately, that guy also gets the last hit, so ends it off nicely. But well, 3-1. I mean, we're saying it like Aura. They looked good in the last game in their starting phases. They kind of threw it away a little bit.
But like Omen's a whole level above Petunia. Like he's level 4.5. Petunia's 3.5. Definitely having the upper hand in this lane. But where did... Okay, I guess RDK took some of the side camp. No. CS is even. Like, how is he a level above him? I guess those 4 denies were probably on range creeps where Petunia's ones were probably just on normal creeps. So that is extremely strange. I was not expecting the Shakira to go down to this top lane.
Guys, I really appreciated what just happened as well. So the puck... Sorry to interrupt you, no, but this really deserves mentioning. So goes to pick up his level 3 rune, or his bounty rune, and in doing so, he also tosses out a beautiful illusionary orb, which stacks both camps. So, well, I think he actually may have. No, I lie. He hit one, but he stacked 2 camps as he went to go pick up his rune as well. So just really min-maxing his time. It was really good. Obviously, this is somebody who's clearly comfortable in puck.
Yeah, like he looked solid the previous game as well in the TA. He was quite like a top net worth for a long period in that game, and then he just kind of got like a little bit over eager by fighting. I think if he prioritized hitting his item timings more efficiently, he would have taken over that game. Like, but he looked solid. It's just a little bit more calm needed, and then I think he might be a really strong like force in our Dota scene. So.
I'm not gonna lie though, what I'm seeing as well, which is a little bit worrying for me, is that, and maybe it was just, you know, a bad couple of first waves or something, but it kind of feels like that guy doesn't look particularly comfortable on this Luna. Like, I'm just watching the way he's almost setting himself up to get last hits and such. Almost like he's a step too far behind, or, you know...
So he's also opted for a level of the glaives, which I don't like. Like you kind of see Luna's maxing Luna Blessing and the Lucent Beam, and then level 5 or 6 you take the glaives, so you can start farming jungle. But this is kind of indicating to me that he doesn't like being in this lane, and he should actually be beating this Axe in the lane. So Axe is out CSing him. Yes, they did get that kill, but him skilling glaives indicates to me now that he wants to. He's also going Mask of Madness. Like they don't do this anymore. Like you go more levels into Blessing, take glaives like level 5 or 6, and then you rush Dragonlance and then go into SNY or Manta. So he's going a very old school Luna build, so I'm not sure if it's, like you said, if it's comfort.
Well, bottom lane again, they're going to get some damage from Minico, but this time he's got the call to back himself up. Doesn't get too lucky with the spins, means there's not a huge amount of damage, but again, just not a lot of damage that they're able to do to the Axe. So even though they're definitely going to push him off, it's actually, hold on, they might be able to run down. They do have another level 2 Lucent Beam. Minipo goes the right way, and of course, gets a little bit of extra help. It's coming in from Harry the Hams. He's possibly going to be able to turn this one around. Beautiful call. Going to be able to finish the job, even though it was a pretty good impale. The reality is that the Earth Spike certainly aren't going to save him in that case. It didn't even need to be available for it. But they bring in Miriam. Miriam wants to try bring down Minipa. Opens up, doesn't connect with the stun. And although they do once again another Earth Spike on the back lines onto Harry the Hams, Miriam actually might fall here as well. This feels a little unnecessary. This is those unforced mistakes we're talking about.
Yeah,
you bring that
the thing is,
rotation in and it doesn't work out at all.
Blessing skills from a bonus 5 damage to bonus 15 damage. So it basically triples in damage. Over, oh, he's got 2 levels of moon caves. He won't be able to farm jungle with this build. The 0, okay, I guess he's got 85 damage. But he's not going to be able to do damage in this lane. Oh, Puckers, yeah, with the Invis Rune.
Yeah, you connect with a nice little Dream Coil, and it goes in both Minipa as well as Harry the Hams, and they can finish with both. So it's a big rotation though. Once again, it's good that they get it, but it takes 4 players to do this. And generally speaking, I still believe in that rule. If you bring in your mid, you need to make sure you kill both. But now you bring in mid and another support, which means that top lanes, RDK is having the time of his life, just farming freely, and there's very little pressure that Lightning can put on this lane. I mean, there's no ways he deals with RDK alone here. And to me, this is one of these players that needs to have a massive impact.
He's gone Vessel as well. Not Vessel, he's gone Urn of Shadows, which... Yeah. It's a +3 clockwork. Like, I don't like this at all. Like, if he went like Vanguard, I would have even been like, okay, cool. Well, he's an offlaner. So...
yeah. He's got to be tanky. He's got to survive that initial engagement. Now, obviously, the Spirit Vessel
Harry?
upgrade is a little bit.
Scouts at him.
Well, it puts it ward down. They must have known that's happening. Yeah. Sup? Thanks for. Oh? We're gonna leave it.
My finger got twitchy.
They want to check.
Yeah, that's
get the kill.
Nice little scout there. Well. Clockwork going down. Yeah, but that's expected. Like, he can't land in this lane. They're gonna have to make rotations here or put pressure somewhere else on the map. But at the moment, Petunia is completely uncontested. He's just been sitting middle while all the skirmishing's been going on. Like, RDK free farming top. And Luna has now moved to... Has she moved to the jungle? Oh, she's got rushing Mask of Madness. I don't like this. Very old build. He's going more levels of glaives now.
And we'll get caught out here by Miriam, and Lightning gets right on top of him. But look at the gust. Beautiful bit of work. Means that Lightning has to bring down his own cog to finish the job, and they will finish the job. But I think showing that there's a little bit of tricks available to a Drow in that kind of position. They drop the Sentry Ward on top of their own, and they're going to get the Observer Ward down. Sorry, the Hams brings in his own rotation. I guess they're going to fight for it. Support battles. I'm more important than you, says Harry. I want my level 6 up. But look at this.
Yeah, they've scouted
deep
this. That's
position
nice.
of Minipa here.
But look at Luna. She's stealing the stack.
She does have the move with Mars. They just need to control the axe, and that's exactly what they're doing.
She
Try to make sure that Minipa never gets onto this Luna. But look at the damage here. The Hams. I will fade bolt you. I will find you and I will fade bolt you. And this line is not long for this world. Gets off a beautiful.
Like bounces additionally. What?
Sorry, I thought for a second he was gonna get away. I was just excited. I'm excited. I'm an excitable guy. Life's good. You know, loving the Dota. Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
I don't know what was going on. I was completely confused.
I really like Dota.
Gasps from HellBird. Like, what's going on? And,
I'll explain. He got off a triple Earth Spike, and he, I think, killed.
Oh, the Clockwork just got 3 of the creeps.
Did he do that?
Clockwork just rocket flared this ancient stack and got 3 of the creeps.
Well.
That was cool. Like that was Millipart's just going like, damn it, man! Like, what is this? Oh, but they've got problems now. I don't know. Okay, Luna took another level of Lunar Blessing. It's like that's kind of what you need to do if you want to go this jungle build. So she's gonna start scaling now, and she's got ancient stacks as well. They have been stacking for her. So Mask of Madness flying out on Korea, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. She's got Mask of Madness and an Ocean Art coming towards her. She's a bit tankier, 2 levels of Lunar Blessing. She will be able to start farming really, really quickly. The problem is, Devin, usually when this happens, your offlaner rotates towards your safe lane, keep your tower alive. Clockwork can't do that. He's not a body.
Yeah.
He's got 1100 HP. He's not tanky. His strength gain is 3.5 per level, but it's not He can't go bottom against strats.
He's not going to do that. I mean, literally, many people just ignore his existence. He's got the Vanguard up, he's way too tanky, and you can see he's going to get this really easily. Like, Minipa's getting this safe lane tower, and there's nothing they can do. They're going to look for the trade, and they're going to go top lane. They will pick up the Jakiro with it. But they're committing so much more to do this. And keep an eye on Precious. Yeah, he was behind, and now he's just going for Midas, going to be the highest level in the game, highest net worth in the game, and I'm going to win this game. So it's very challenging times right now.
He's going 4-star first item. I know there's a clockwork, so I understand the thought process, but is Drow also going to go 4-star? I don't know.
Well, she had a Dragon Lance queued up. I actually think it's flying out. I think RDK, no, the courier's empty. I'm not sure. I saw that RDK had a Dragon Lance queued up earlier, but maybe he's... Yeah, it looks like he's changed his mind to go to the...
Petunia probably communicated, said, no, he'll get the Dragon Lance. You go your... Because indirectly, if RDK has more AG, Petunia hits harder as well. So it kind of goes both ways. So I guess...
Luna just died him. In fact, they're going to bring in the support from the puck. They want to finish off Fresh. They've got a Hex in as well. They'll be followed up by the Earth Spike. And no level 6 yet on the line, so we won't be able to get that extra stack, but we'll have Figure. That's actually very useful timing as well. Pezbot could potentially now use this Finger of Death on a returning Invoker, which would be huge.
Hoodwink went down bottom as well, but like we said, they don't really have a body to defend their towers because they picked this Clockwork Post 3. And he's just kind of still hanging on top. He's got phase boots now, level 7
lane. They're going to queue up the Eclipse. It was a little bit early because they didn't see the TP coming from behind the tower. Minipa very low, but they will manage to finish the line. And I'm that guy in trouble. He hasn't even bothered to activate his Mask of Madness, so he didn't even have the damage. Like, you get the item, you commit the Eclipse, you don't even use the item. So it's like, I don't know if they had enough.
He should not have skilled Eclipse there as a level at all. He's got 2 levels of Lucent Beam, Devin. They're doing not a lot of damage. There's a big difference between 300 damage and 150 damage per beam. And remember, they can only hit a certain... They can only hit a hero a certain amount of times until you get Ags. When you get Ags, it takes the beam count, the threshold away. So it's maximum 5. And she's got a total of 6 beams on 3 heroes. So maximum of that Eclipse, she could have done 300 damage per hero, which is, it's not a lot. So
like committing to Reaper in top lane here. Pezbok wants to go on top of him. He will go into the Silence and he actually drops the Macapie, which is interesting because Lightning can't get into it. No, just he walked this one away, surely not, and he won't. Miriam chanting up that sharpshooter won't go anywhere, but I kind of like the play. Just, okay, we'll just run over my Macapie, Lightning. You're not going to be part of this kill at the release. I think it was actually his rocket flare that. No, it wasn't. It was actually. No, it was, I thought it was. Yeah, but it wasn't. It was doing. Probably Acorn shot.
Puck is still going for his Witchblade. Doesn't have it yet, but he's pretty close. 200 gold away from it. It's a nice little power spike. Oh, he's got a blink. No, he doesn't have a blink yet.
Doesn't have the blink yet. He will, however, get.
Yo, a lot of TP's coming top.
Yeah, they're ready.
I guess it's the last tier 1. It's the last tier 1. And they just TP'd heroes out of here. They're not going to be able to defend it. It's a dead tower. It's fine. They should just back away. Luna is farming. It's going S and Y over Manta. I don't know how I feel about that. I guess you have the Mask of Madness, so silences is not really a problem. But there is still Cold Snap and Jakiro tick damage. So S and Y is more popular because their resistance is really top tier. Oh wait, Lions by fault. Rubik's still the Bushwhack. Now he's got Earth Spike.
That's a big one for him as well. I mean, it's level 3, so he can deal a fair amount of damage. It also means he can bring down an entire creep wave. So he can literally just... He's got what he needs now to... Like, if I was Rubik right now, I'd be like, guys, listen, I have the combination I need to go push outside, and then go put some pressure on the map somewhere, and, you know, be greedy about it. But it's also a really good kill potential because there's a fair amount of damage that comes out from Earth Spike as well. It's not an amount that isn't worth considering. And it also completes his kit because he's got the telekinesis, which obviously stuns, but doesn't stun the target he's going on. Well, I mean, you know what I mean? It's a lift. It's not like the damage. There's nothing there in it. So now he gets the double disable, and the Fate Bolt with the extra damage. It's a lot to work with right now. I'd be really happy with that if I was Harry the Hams. But this is what...
Luna's got a Dragon Lance. It was not SNY, it's Dragon Lance. I made a mistake, my bad. But she's got Dragon Lance now, it's 40 minutes in, so her farm is going to start accelerating. And it looks like her team is trying to make space for her. They're going on top. Oh, the smoke broke. WRG instantly backs away. Everyone's kind of like holding hands at the moment. Like, are the teams maybe like a little bit on edge, I guess? But WRG are playing like really like tight-knit together. You don't often see this. RDK is usually like on his own mission. Okay, that's why they grouped up. It was for the smoke.
I think they were probably just trying it between where RDK was farming and where they think their opponents were, because they want to fight right now. And why not? They have their net worth at the moment is 3 out of 4, basically.
They spot the
in
clockwork.
top 4.
He's on the group wave. Oh, they're going for the Luna.
Yeah, they find I'm that guy, and there's absolutely no chance. They did actually miss the dunk, so at least they wouldn't have to worry about that if another
RDK is solo killing.
But yeah, they go straight back in. They commit the Dream Core as well as the hook shot and the finger, and they do manage to kill RDK. LT me more, he says, but this fight isn't over. They're not out of this. Beautiful double nice for the first job, and Pairs brought down on trouble. Miriam's going to TP out, but in the end they lose 3. Including 2 cores. They do bring down RDK as the richest, well, the second richest player in the game at the moment, so there's something in it. But look at this puck.
Harry could be lucky he hit the... Harry was very lucky hitting that blind earth spark to the clockwork in the tree line. He obviously didn't see him there, but like he lifted him and threw him the wrong direction. He could have thrown him towards his team and they could have gotten the easy kill on the clock. But then that earth spike into the tree line, he was aiming for the lion and he got both of them. So a little bit of a luck there on the side of WRG. So nice little segment, but. Yeah, Luna needs to watch out for those rotations. No one's showing on the map. They need to shove out the lane so they can get more intel. But they did smoke for it, so she couldn't have seen that coming. Bottom Drow is on the hoodwink.
Yeah, Miriam, interested in potentially setting up because they do have I'm that guy there. Now there's a TP available to them. And a quick one at that to catch him out, and they're going to commit their Eclipse here. This time it's a level 3 Lucid Beam, so it should be enough damage, and is enough damage, and they will bring down the tier 1 town on the bot lane. But looks like WG, they're still interested in this. They do manage to get their Precious Platoon Invoker out, as the 4-star has previously mentioned. So pretty mobile, but they're probably getting just that, because even with the puck, no Blink Dagger available yet. I don't think they overcommit for this. Okay, I stand corrected.
I don't think that's
they overcommit to this, and did they just lose Dream Core? Yes, they did. That is a big one, and of course, sitting right by the Roche, but Minipower is almost totally protected by it, and they re-engage it. They get the Sunstrike down. This time, the dunk will connect nicely. Dream Core has been used by Harry. The ham's going to be popped as well by Pez. I think he hangs on to that. Doesn't necessarily need to steal anything else, and they get the call, the dunk again. WG pick up a new set of skulls, and it's kind of weird because I'm looking at the game, it doesn't feel over by any means, but it does feel very clumsy. A couple of unforced errors again coming out from Aura.
It's just like, I think it goes back to their draft. Like this Clockwork, Lion, and Hoodwink can't hunt. I guess you can like Clockwork hookshot into the Hoodwink ulti, but your Clockwork is going to die at the same time. So you're kind of always trading instead of having like just like a big hero that can go in like Mars or Timber or Dragonite or any of those types of things. Like this Clockwork pick has really made the draft good for them, and they prepared for it. Like there's a 4-star on the Rubik, there's a 4-star on the Invoker. RDK is not going to go 4-star. He's got 2 teammates with it. And Jakiro's going Yule, so that's also a little bit of a nuisance. And Petunia is massive. Like he's close to 9k network. Oh, good.
Oh, they go in and they get immediately counter called though. The ice pass down as well with the Macapie, but a bit of confusion. Lightning was actually tossed out with the telekinesis there, so he's going to survive. Beautiful bit of work done on the backlines from the Hoodwink. And Repo, he took a lot of damage there. He's got to be careful. Will be forced off away from the illusory orb. I don't think Puck will commit for that for the Jakiro, but once again, just tapping away some cheeky plays coming out from Miriam's Hoodwink.
But they don't have hook shot now.
Still in trouble, and I think WG respect the fact that there's very few initiation options open for. They're going to bring the line from the sidelines as well, just make sure that they can potentially get that snooze. But in comes that Dream Ball, who's managed to catch out and doesn't quite break, but the damage isn't there from the sideboard. They'll bring down the Jakiro, but they probably lose and will lose their puck here. In comes the LT from that guy on the back. He wants to push the job onto the axe and will be able to do so. But Precious Petunia still on the run. Gives off a beautiful idol. Doesn't quite connect on time, that guy. You saw him for a moment, but now with the Ghost Walk up, I don't think there's any reveal available to them. There isn't any whatsoever. The hook shot, though, does connect. They know he's there, but they don't have any damage. Nothing at all. Miriam, he wants to get on top of him, but Precious Petunia probably just walks this one off, and that is a absolute shame.
That is sloppy. Like, you're playing against the Invoker, they have to be carrying dust or sentries. That's game changing. This Invoker is top net worth. Okay, Luna overtook him in that fight. If you kill the Invoker there, you kill the enemy's most farmed hero. He's probably worth 400 to 500 gold at the moment. And
we saw this in the last
just
game as well.
not having detection. Yeah.
It's these kind of sloppy mistakes.
Milipa on the Sand King. Yeah, Milipa on the Sand King in the previous game, just sitting in Sandstorm, and everyone's kind of like just standing around him until his reinforcements arrive. But they have to start carrying dust. Like, now Clockwork's picked up a dust, he's learned his lesson. But and now Puck has a dust as well. Like, but why are these decisions not like preemptive?
It's also you forget. You know what's kind of weird about this one is they haven't actually had to deal with the Invoker doing this yet. He's never really been in that position where he's forced to Ghost Walk. But 100%, you're playing against a hero and you literally think like, well, there's a chance that something like a Drow that's AFK farming could look for a Shadow Blade. I don't know why he would do that. Maybe he hates his life and wants to buy the worst item in Dota. But he might, and then you would be sitting there without your ability to finish the kill. And of course,
very
you have
important, HellBird.
Yeah.
Very important. Would you do us the honors of announcing the awesome EGL shit winner?
It would be my absolute pleasure. DeVault Van Zale, congratulations. You are not only winning yourself a EGL 1 t-shirt, but also we will try to steal it from you. Which means you get to meet both of us in person. I'm joking, I'm not that creepy, I promise. Also, don't be creepy and invite us over. Also be creepy.
DeVault Van Zale.
Yeah.
Wins the shirt.
Obviously,
congratulations, DeVault.
Please get in touch. You have to make sure that you claim it. Otherwise, we will be giving it to somebody else, and they will be pretending to meet us. That scan actually caught out that smoke right on the tail. Yeah. So, Aura, what do you do? Yes, they do decide to counter smoke, and it looks like they want to try and pick this fight. Now, obviously, WG on the hunt. They don't know where their opponents are, but they might get a little bit lucky here. They need to pick the right line. The moment Aura playing very patient.
Oh, they got middle. They got RDK.
Go into RDK and the hook.
No!
K
all backwards.
Nani?
Okay,
they do connect with the sharpshooter, but what just happened there? Oh my soul!
He orbed into the hook shot. Yeah.
He orbed back, so the Clockwork actually latched onto him at the end of the illusion orb.
Yeah.
But
they're going on parry.
Yeah, they want more. They should be able to finish the Rubik. Very low, but he's got some backup from Precious Petunia. That's not worth it, so they're going to back off. But that's a big kill onto RDK. It's putting things down. They do manage to cap on Jakiro. He's going to try and run down the low ground, but he'll be caught out once again by Miriam. So 2 kills that go their way. But interestingly, bottom lane.
3! They got access 3!
Oh, this is huge.
Yeah. No, they're going to go Rosh now. 3 heroes down into the Rosh, but no Axe, no Jakiro. They're still Invoker on the map, but they need to push out the lanes. Look at top lane, it's taking damage, and mid is being pushed in as well. So they have to push out the lanes before they can do anything like that. They're leaving the Clockwork bottom, so this Rosh isn't that obvious. He's not essential for this Rosh. But are they going to be able to do this? Okay, there is a Solar Crest on the hook lane. I really like that.
Sunstrike gives us away, but there's very little they can do from this position. And Precious realized
taking damage.
Actually, he really needs to stop taking damage. He's getting very low. They'll finish the job. They do manage to pick up that Aegis onto the Luna. This is impressive stuff, though. This is a good showing. They're pulling this one back, is probably the best way to say it. I still think they have a lot of problems finishing off this game right now. I think that WG are... They don't need to be in any sort of panic mode just yet. The Luna is obviously the most farmed in the game, which is significant, and he's starting to make his way towards a BKB. An absolute necessity playing up against an Invoker, obviously, but obviously also very good against some of the other heroes in the game. I mean, Jakiro, until he gets the potential upgrade.
I kind of think WG missed their timings. Like, the enemy team has this Clockwork pick as an offlaner, and you haven't pressured tier 2s that much. Okay, they got the tier 2 bottom, but you haven't pressured tier 2s with this Axe Invoker Drow lineup. Like, I know Drow scales better into the late game than she did in the past, but if you have a Drow lineup against a lineup where Luna wants to farm. They've got a Clockwork offlaner. You need to kind of like def ball grouped a little bit earlier. I knew they were waiting for crucial items like BKBs, etc. But they're going to catch
lane,
the bottom.
yeah, they're going to catch on light, and they commit the Cataclysm as well. So damage is there. They haven't actually finished the job as neatly as they want to, and that means that in comes the Dream Coil. They do have to be very careful. The RDK's got the BKB up, and he's standing his ground. They'll finish off the first. Can they finish off RDK? He's so low, but they aren't able to do so. Pressure Petunia backing off. Now this time around, they have no way of catching it. They know he's around, and Minipa hiding out the tree line will also manage TP out. Bear in mind, top lane, Reaper doing some good work, just keeping the lanes pushed in, but he does have an angry squirrel to deal with. Wants to keep his favorite tree tower thing alive.
Yeah, so as 5, I think Aura is way stronger than WG at the moment. Like I said, I think they missed their timings. This Drow is in the threat of being killed every single fight. You saw he insta-pop BKB when he got coiled there, and he had to TP out. It's not like you can BKB and fight. They are being hurt. Got a BKB flying out to him now at the moment. Oh, Hex!
Oh, yeah, they've caught out a big tasty Invoker. They could commit Eclipse.
That's
even.
greedy. He knew they were bottom. It's just so greedy. Like he knew they were bottom. There's a catapult here. They're gonna get this tower.
This
Like,
game
WG.
is trying to turn on its head. I mean, I'm that guy. He was struggling early on, but now in a great position. And once again, Lightning gets a beautiful engagement here onto 2. And Minipa and Harry the Ham, they're trying to deal with this. Bottom lane, though, is still being pushed, and there's no interest from the guy. In fact, he's going high ground. I'm that guy. Forget that split push. Look at the split push coming out from the Luna. He's hitting the tier 3s.
Yeah, but why is Reaper not joining these engagements? Why is he just split pushing this top lane? Is he kind of waiting for his teammates to get another item? But I don't understand. Like, Clockwork sold his boots by accident.
Oh no.
What?
Wait, I'm confused. The puck said it. The puck said I sold my boots.
He doesn't have boots. He doesn't have boots. Sorry, yeah. So
Omen
on the puck. Or if it was treads. It's not the end of the world.
It was trades. I mean that.
Okay, so more important though, Devil von Cell Devin didn't claim his prize, so they re-rolled. And the little bird in my ear says that Bradley is the new winner. So Bradley, please get in contact with the EGL admins there in the chat. Just say that you are in the chat, and then you can claim your prize, my man.
Yes,
Congratulations to Bradley. Sorry, Devil, but you need to keep watching the stream.
Yeah, there you go. Also, we're 2 minutes behind, so I can tell you now that he's already claimed it. Congratulations, Bradley. I'm gonna say it like that.
Bradley. Why are we saying it like that?
No, because the game's paused, and I did keep this train going. You know, like the train conductor, like choo choo, Bradley. Do it again.
Bradley.
We're going to get the admins in on this as well.
Yeah, now Reaper's TPing back. I don't know why this Jakiro is not assisting his team. Like they just lost 2 cores, and I like Pos 5s pushing out side lanes like efficiently, but not when your cores are dying. It's supposed to make space. It's supposed to force heroes into this lane. Now Pezbot's kind of like waiting for him, but he's TP'd out, and they can take this mid tower, and then they can like rotate for the outpost. How long is the Aegis still up?
Oh, you know, I almost forgot about the fact that they're rocking in Aegis.
What?
Because they haven't needed to use it. They're going aggressively onto the Rubik. He's going to back off immediately, though. It was a little bit of a cheeky illusion, but bear in mind, there's an axe hunting. They do have the draw up as well, so it looks like they're going to back this one off. I don't feel like they have to be forced to use this Aegis right now. Like, I don't think it's got the longest amount of time remaining on it. I'm not 100% sure, but Roshan's already he's well into his wheel. You know, he's
Puck also has Aeon Disc. It's like one of the best items you can get on Puck at the moment. At the last major, this was kind of like the stemple on Pucks. You just go like Wishbane Blink Dagger or Veil Blink Dagger into an Aeon Disc, and then you go Ags afterwards. Like the Aeon Disc on a Puck just gives him enough time to get an additional set of spells off, get himself out of trouble. He's going to be extremely hard to kill at the moment. He's got an Imp Claw as well, so he is hitting. And Luna has a Grove Bow.
I was going to say, it's actually one of the best heroes for Grove Bow as well. Because you never think
Grove
about
Bow is ridiculous amount. Like 100 attack range is completely ridiculous. It's stupid. It's so big. And you can see WLG doesn't really want to fight them. You've got an Axe, Jakiro, Invoker draft, and you don't want to be fighting. They're kind of like resorting to split pushing. And it's something that you mentioned like before the game. In the old days when Bravado Emotion felt pressured, they kind of just reverted to split pushing. And like a lot of these big teams still have that mentality. I played like a few games of Fury the other day as well, and the moment the game got tough, he was like, "Well, let's just split push them." Using the game. So
Yeah.
like split pushing it's not that effective anymore. Like you have to shove out your lanes, but committing to a complete split push strategy doesn't work. You have to split push so you can fight. That's the purpose.
100%.
Not it's only split push.
Because the thing is, you're playing for a position opposed to before where you're playing to send your opponents back.
RDK is a DD though.
Oh yeah, this is really significant regardless. I mean, he's turn around. He's got Lactrian. They're actually tagging this tier 3.
They can trade this. No, they can trade this. At the moment this tier 3 goes down, Luna just destroys the base. He takes it way faster.
You say this, but they've already lost the tier 3 in the other lane. So he does finally get it, and they should be able to bring it down, as you mentioned. But it's going to be a flat trade, and that Aegis is down. Not using the Mask of Madness, though. Like, fine, he does, but at the worst possible time, the Cataclysm there, this Luna is deleted. They do manage to get their axe, but this is a straight-up win for WRG, and they go straight back in. Lion, are you sure about this? Minipa wasn't caught at all. He's still mobile. He's going to have the blink dagger up, but he is finally caught out in the tree line, and they do manage to have some with the Earth Spike. They're trying to bring him down. They should be able to bring down. Finally bring him down. No, Minipa's still alive. Will finally fall, but he's bought time. Pressure Tuner code come in that does toggle on the Aeon Disc, but now it means they have to try retreat. Miriam immediately decided to TP out, and he is very fortunate he did, because that ice path was caught the animation. I think he's a little bit frozen on the other side. He's got some aircon when he arrived in base.
That ended up in WRG's favor, but I do still think that's kind of fine for Aura Gaming, because they can do the exact same thing now again when they hero spawn, or they can wait for Roshan and then go for it again, because they still have tier 2s up where WRG don't. So WRG has to go through a tier 2 and a tier 3, where Aura can just push straight into a tier 3. Did Luna like not BKB there because he thought he still had the Aegis? He's going Satanic. I don't know if I like this. He's got the Dispel from the Manta. He doesn't need the Dispel from the Satanic. I would have liked to see probably Scotty. I don't know. Is he... If he gets locked down after the BKB, he's I guess you just use the BKB with the Satanic. I don't know if I like it, HellBird. I think he's going to take the Enchanted Quiver now as well. It's pretty good for him. But...
Actually, one side would have. He does start the roadway. Well, Harry the Hams has been caught out here, and they will have the Angry Squirrel to help make sure that this kill happens. Oh no! This is interesting. They actually caught out the puck. They're on the sidelines. Lightning bails him out of trouble. Minipa though, he wants to get in, but he doesn't find the target he's looking for. They will lose RDK as well. They bought back on the Rubik, so he wants to try bail at least one player out. Precious Petunia trying to deal with this puck.
Luna's coming in.
Fancy footwork means he is able to get out, but a little bit of fancy footwork from Aura as they dance down mid lane.
And Repo is top.
Well, RDK's down for a long time. They're going to use the Ice Wall, but over they go! A beautiful bit of reflex timing. It means the puck stays alive yet, but he is immediately hexed up. And on the front lines, the Luna trying to do what he can. He's applying himself to Minipa, drops the LT as well, but he's not getting a huge amount out of it. So we'll get the sharpshooter on the back lines onto the Rubik. Remember, he bought back, so his life is a little bit more valuable now than it normally is. But they're having to back off. WHG in a hold. Oh no!
The Rocket cancelled the blink. The Rocket Flare cancelled the blink.
Oh my soul, that was so close. I mean, you saw him literally, he thought he had it. They managed to find the Jakiro, but unfortunately for you, the trees are not your friend. That's where squirrels live. And Miriam will make sure that they do find the kill. So in the end, it still kind of works out in favor of WG in a way, but in that last little fight. Because remember, they lost RDK very early on. So they trade out the Puck and the Lion for the Jakiro in that last little phase. But overall, it does feel like the game is on a knife edge for WG. I'm more scared of WRG being the team that loses here than Aura. I think they just seem to be playing the game in their opponent's half. They look like they're in a good space. Blade Mail, though, up on the axe. So if he does catch out this Luna again, he's going to really hurt.
Luna's got her Aeon Disc queued up. She should have built this. If she pops Eclipse and her Aeon Disc procs, all her damage just stops. We saw it at the major because this Aeon Disc meta became a thing, and Crit rolled in with Earth Spirit, popped his ulti on Terrorblade. Terrorblade had 50 HP left. The ulti would have killed him. The Aeon Disc procced, and he stayed alive, and they lost the game. He should not be going Aeon Disc. He's scared of this axe combo, but just get more HP. Get a overwhelming blink or a swift blink or something, or Eye of Skadi, but I don't think he should be going Aeon Disc. He needs to still scale, and the moment he picks up this Aeon Disc, after that, if he's going to get another item, he's not going to know what to get. Like, even get an Ags, it's more HP, but do not build. He's got it queued up. I really hope he doesn't build it.
Look, I totally agree with you as well, because it's also providing the same thing that your Satanic is.
Because
Right?
he has a
Satanic,
BKB.
Satanic is the thing that's supposed to get you out of that thing. You're supposed to BKB Satanic when you're on low HP, build yourself back up to 100 and you get an extra lifeline. But top lane, they try to catch out. The clock even backing them up, but they've been split here. Pressure Petunia pops a BKB. He's going to be able to run this one off potentially. In from the sidelines comes the puck. They should have enough time here potentially to get the Dream Call off. They're just waiting for that BKB to run out, and they commit the Finger of Death as well. And now Milipa and Co, they're all going to fall apart here. Right now, it looks like Aura, they are just dancing around, trying to find their way into the opponent's side of the map consistently, and it's working. You can see RDK is trying to push out that mid lane. They once again have Reaper in the bottom lane, trying to apply pressure to the lane that already has pressure going in. But right now, WRG just seem to be getting a little bit further behind each time. I mean, this is a team that's technically above on net worth, but it doesn't feel like it. They don't feel like they're outmaneuvering their opponents. Right now, Aura, they're into the Roshan bit as well.
The problem is this Drow is being picked off in these fights way too easily, and this Axe didn't like opt for the Manta shard build, so he's not really like a damage dealer. He's more their control. They do have Cataclysm on the Invoker, so there is a lot of damage coming out from it. But when you lose your Drow,
bottom lane, Reaper is being caught out here, but Ham's helping him out. They do have a little bit more to get through him. They drop the Macapie as well. Now they do pop the Aaron Disc on the puck, which means they can't help out Pezbot yet. So Pezbot will fall. He goes straight in aggressively again, but he's stole the phase shift. Where's this Rubik? He is in the tree line, he is escaping, and he is going to survive. So in the end, they do trade out support for support. And I think in a way that kind of is a win again, because I think they're the ones who are trying to play for the extra time. And with 90 seconds cooldown on that Aeon Disc at the moment, or 80 seconds at the time I'm finished speaking, it does mean that they have to wait a little bit longer, and the Jakiro will be up before that puck's really willing to fight again.
Oh, Clockwork needs to start aiming for Aghanims now. He's going Lotus next. I guess that's to try and get the Drow silence off him. There's not really a lot of things he can reflect here. I guess Cold Snap and then Battle Hunger and Rubik Lift. It's not big spells that's going to change the course of a team fight. If he has Ags and he's got the Overclock with a double hook shot, double cogs, he can protect his Luna, and he can play extremely aggressive because you can hook shot in and out. So I don't know if I like the Lotus or pickup, because Hoodwink already has one. If you really feel that someone needs to get Lotus, Hoodwink has a Lotus. Oh wait, middle? No,
Well,
no.
also, by the way, I don't know how you feel
They're
about
not
this,
all
but
here.
the shard went away of the Luna. And I kind of feel like maybe the puck was a better call, but I'm interested to hear your
It's
thoughts.
not terrible. It becomes ground targeted, and it gives you. Does it still give vision? I think they nerfed that.
Oh
Also
no.
releases an attack
They've
too.
caught out Luna here. Now, she does have the Aegis, so this is a fight they probably have to take. They start bringing the support. RDK, he's going to start zoning people out. They drop everything on where this spawn's going to be. He doesn't get the opportunity to BKB, and he did backpack his Aeon Disc. He's got to be careful that doesn't pop. We spoke about this moments ago. Reaper in trouble, trying to get away from the puck. He will be brought down. They're going to commit the finger, though. Pezzo wants to get on top of the RDK, and he will be able to do so. Earthspike is there, and this could be the game itself. What's the buyback look like at the moment? Not available for RDK. Not for a long time as well. Oh, no, I lied, because he immediately
No,
brought
just
back.
used it.
I'm sorry. I'm
Just
panicking.
used it, Devin.
Mini plan trouble. He's
They
going to
got-
be
they
caught
got
by the
mini
heck.
plans as well.
Well, he went towards the neutral creeps. He accepted his fate. He was hoping
does
for
not
a
have
lucky
buyback.
Satire Goku ball, but they do manage to catch out the puck. He immediately does once again get bailed up. Nice double tornado does come out though, but it is 2 versus 5 here. I'm that guy. He's been handed over the cheese as well, so he's going to be hard to bring down. Still has the Eclipse available. Got to be careful though, and this is on him. Pressure Shooter goes in. He commits
No
with the
BKB.
ulti from the Eclipse. The BKB not available. RDK is being run down. He wants to finish the job, but he's silenced. Not able to do so. Repo hiding in the tree lines. It doesn't matter. Right now, WG are in so much trouble. RDK will use the multi-shot from his fountain, but right now he's just trying to buy time. They're going to get caught out. If he dies here, this is it. This is decided. And here comes a hook shot. That'll be enough. WRG for the GG, because this one's auras, and they will start tagging away on these tier 4 towers. And isn't Luna beautiful now? Bouncing around. I'll take everything from you. They're trying to buy some time. They do have the axe coming back in 24 seconds. WRG don't want to admit defeat just yet. Pressure Fortuna tries to force himself back into the fountain. Does want to finish the job on the line and will. So they're slowly clawing back, but now it is an exposed ancient right now. They're trying to finish the job. I'm that guy, he still wants to pick fights here. Just BKB and hit the throw. WOG, you want to beat them, you want to go game 3. That's how you do it, and they are going to do it. WOG, maybe taking Aura a bit too lightly here. We're going to go to game 3, and Aura look like they have their tails up as well.
Yeah, but I don't know what the thought process was here. Like they never grouped up. Reaper was always split pushing. They started their draft with Jakiro plus Rubik, and Aura came to play. Like they made this Clockwork Pause 3 work. WRG didn't use their window. Game 3 elimination time. Let's go.
What a bizarre tournament. I mean, I don't want to jinx WRG or Aura. So like we're all going to agree for a moment that there's no caster's curse because I'm cursed both of them, right? So then it equals itself out. In fact, but the thing is, how crazy to think that in this round we could be saying goodbye to both Pingu and WRG. I mean, that could conceivably happen so early on. I mean, these two teams, we spoke earlier on in this tournament about how WRG are the one top team that is yet to win a significant South African title in the last couple of months. But hey, they could be going home instead. Obviously, Aura, they're in a good spot, but I do think that WG might just have been, they might be angered now, so we might see a different look at WG. Maybe a little bit more.
They need to go back to the meta. Like this was not a meta draft at all.
Ban Naga, because that's what happens. That's what they do when they're in this situation.
Yeah, they have to go back to the meta. Like, why is Dragonaut being picked? Dragonaut not being picked? Why is TA not being picked? Terrorblade was not. It was banned. But pick it up. Pick Naga up. Like, go back to the meta. Like, Drow Ranger, Rubik, Jakiro, these heroes aren't being picked for a reason. And we saw that. Like, Repo kind of felt that he had to split push the whole game. That was his impact. And did we see an Ice Path land in a team fight? I don't think I saw Ice Path land once in a team fight.
Honestly, it did feel like WG were kind of disconnected with the way that they were playing. So, honestly, I do think, again, it's like take stock. You said it before the draft, is that WG probably saw this as a safety game, is having a little bit of fun. I think it's crazy because you're in an elimination section. Yeah, I think it's crazy. But with that said, they obviously they are still my favorites. But Aura at the moment, it's great to see one way or another. Anyways, we're going to take a little bit of a break. But will it be the wild card Aura knocking out WRG here in the lower bracket? The wild card Aura. That's why wild cards exist. Think about that for a second. Let that sink in. We'll go back off the break and discuss it again. But we are going to take a quick break. We'll see you shortly. Game 3, the decider, on its way.
You
Alright, welcome back, guys. It's time. It's time. We only have one more game ahead of us for tonight, so don't go anywhere. I know it's a school night. I know everyone is keen to get some good rest in before Friday, so they can make their way into the weekend. I mean, doesn't that feel good? Yeah, we're gonna send you off to your weekend, almost kinda close enough, with a phenomenal series here. Aura versus White Rabbit Gaming. Of course, Aura winning game 2, which evened things up, 1 apiece. And look, I wanted to say, and maybe we can just spend a moment whilst the game's starting up, that it is really cool to see the wild card draw really showing why it exists. Because obviously, you know, when you think about wild cards in games, they often result in the teams that go home first. But the fact that this is a team that shouldn't be here, and they haven't gone home first, and in fact they're now sitting here instead doing a, finding themselves in a position where they're potentially knocking out one of the favorites of the entire tournament. It's a fantastic point to say, like, this is why we should have these kind of things in the future as well. And it's a tip of the cap for EGL for their creativity in going with that kind of format. But anyways, we need to see. What's the result going to be? Will they be the side that knocks out WRG, or does normality return to our scene as WRG make their way a little bit closer towards a bracket final, potentially a grand final? Who knows?
Yeah,
notAhero.
I'm interested to see what WRG is going to respond with now, because their last draft was like Axe was the only hero that's considered meta in their draft. Like, not a single one of those heroes are considered a strong hero in this meta. Maybe Invoker, but like it's been very niche. But they just like, I don't know. They opened with Rubik Chikiro, and then they went with the Drow Ranger, and then they went for the split push strategy, but they had an Axe, and it just completely fell apart because Aura had heroes that could pick you off. They had Puck that could catch you with Dream Coil. They had the Clockwork that could hookshot you. Hoodwink runs in the tree line, and Lion had a Blink Dagger. So they need to go back to the drawing board. Like we saw in the first game, Dragonite was banned. The second game, it wasn't even banned, and no one picked it. The hero is broken. It's not been banned. In the first phase now, we see Leshrac, Mars, Clockwork, and Puck taken out. Puck and Clockwork both in the last game. So White Rabbit's taking out what they feel kind of like is a problem for them. But something very interesting, HellBird. Look who's the drafter for WRG now.
It's pretty much be like, enough of you, RDK. You'll be none of this. Your shenanigans.
RDK drafted game 2, and it looked horrendous. Like the draft was bad.
I mean, the whole like leave Brittany alone thing. I just want to point something out. By the way, I've decided that Aura are going to go ahead and win this matchup. And you might be saying, why? Why would you say this? That's a ridiculous statement to make so early on. I mean, that's a clearly tight series.
WRG did not take them seriously until too late.
No, it's because Snapfire is one of the most picked heroes in this tournament, and also has one of the highest loss rates in this tournament. And Hoodwink is the other hero. It's 1 and 2, the 2 most picked heroes in the tournament. Sapphire and Hoodwink, and Mars, who's actually in a tie with Hoodwink, but that's irrelevant. The point is that Hoodwink has the highest win rate out of the heroes. That's just kind of also like saying, do you know what? Whatever. It's Aura Gaming. Woo!
I don't think the problem was with Snapfire. I kind of think people have gone away from what made it strong. Like we saw, like Slaughter plus Snapfire lanes, the minus armor that came out from it was ridiculous, and that's what made the hero great. We kind of saw the same problem last year. Everyone kept picking Phantom Assassin with Magnus, and Phantom Assassin had like an 80% win rate, and people went, wow, Phantom Assassin is really good. And then they started picking the hero without Magnus, and it got a 30% win rate. And people were like, no, Phantom Assassin is horrible. No, Phantom Assassin is good, but it needs a steroid. So it's kind of in that regard. Like Snapfire became such a good hero that people kind of forgot that it's a good hero because it combos with certain things. It combos with Mars, it combos with Dragonite, it combos with Slaughter, heroes that does minus armor like Templar Assassin. So if you pick it within its combos, it's still a really, really good hero. So I kind of just think that that's the phase we've had with it. But Aura opting for Hoodwink plus Shadow Shaman, which I don't know if I like.
I just want to say, if it's a Miriam Hoodwink, nothing else. I honestly feel like this has been the pick of the players for Aura. He's looked so good.
Tiny Game was really solid. A hero that's like in the ground at the moment. He made it look good. He was solid on his hoodwink game. The Shadow Shaman hero is usually in response to something like a Puck, but Puck's been banned and they picked up Shadow Shaman. Guess it gives them tower push,
10
but
seconds remaining.
I don't know if I like it. Like, there's so many
Radiant team back.
other heroes that fulfills that pos 5 role way better than Shadow Shaman.
You
So,
know,
'cause- yeah, it's a
you
pos
don't
5.
like Lion, right? You don't like Lion, right? But
Why didn't
he's
they just
got-
pick Lion again?
I was gonna say he's got, you know, they just like you, non-hero. That's why they're doing this for you. They decided that they want to pick the instant disable hero and it not be Lion just for you. But it is an interesting one. I actually really think Shadow Shaman's very good though. I've always felt this is one of those heroes that skirts around being a very big meta pick. I mean, the only time I can think of where Shadow Shaman was like the meta pick was TI4, and the less we say about that, the better. So I do think
There's
that
heroes that do his job better than he does.
10
So,
seconds
and I
remaining.
actually think Lion is unfortunately one of those heroes at the moment.
5 seconds remaining.
Very strange that they picked up the Shadow Shaman. Like, you just opened your last game with Hoodwink Lion, and you won that game, and then the next game you can get Hoodwink Lion again, and you don't take it. So,
I don't
interesting.
ban it either, which does open. I mean,
No.
I feel like Snapfire and Nyx probably want to do
Radiant
the
team pick.
port duties. Oh, it's gonna be. I thought they would
Okay,
go to the Naga, right? Like, I feel like Naga was the
Why
go-to.
do you pick Bristle into Hoodwink?
Wow, that's sorry. I was gonna make the point. Like, thought that we were gonna see a Naga from RDK because this is kind of his
10
go-to in these
seconds
kind of
remaining.
positions, and instead they go for the Bristleback. And as you mentioned, that
5
is
seconds remaining.
There's already a counter.
yeah, and it's the counter, right? Like it's the break. It's the break you want. It's the Shadow Blade in your pocket that doesn't have to be a Shadow Blade. Silver Edge.
If Dragon Knight does not get banned or picked in this draft, I'm going to lose my mind.
Oh, they
no,
doubled down
or
on it, eh? Like,
no, or don't. They need to stick to the same like blueprint that they did game 2. They had like a hero that could farm extremely fast. You farmed until he was strong enough. They had a mid that was
10
active,
seconds
and you had
remaining.
these 2 like supports that could kind of like cause chaos on the map.
5 seconds
So
remaining.
Shadow Shaman Hoodwink, I guess, can do that, but Slark is not that farming hero. Like when you're playing against a team like WRG, you just beat them. Why are you
Radiant
changing the
team
plan?
pick.
Like just follow.
okay.
Yeah, like okay, yeah. Like Slark hates playing into Naga. It's really hard for him to kill her. He doesn't have wave clear for the illusions. You don't really want to build Maelstrom on a Slark or Battle Fury. So
10 seconds
I don't know.
remaining.
This draft became like very WRG favored in my
5
opinion at the moment,
seconds
even though there
remaining.
is a Hoodwink versus the Bristle. But maybe they picked the Bristle back and then went, okay, well, oops, we picked Bristle back, there's a Hoodwink, let's just pick Naga for RDK instead.
It also hurts because I feel like Aura should have known this was coming. You know what I mean? Like, I think that this is one of those things, you know, like, okay, WG's under pressure, RDK, Naga, sorry. And it's because it's a very hard thing to play against because you just don't see that much Naga. Like, RDK is one of the only players I can think of in the South African competitive scene that picks up a Naga in these kind of situations. And that means you don't encounter it as frequently as you should, and it makes it very, very difficult to deal with. So, he's a master. He's a master of this hero, and I wish they had abandoned it out instead of, say, the Terrorblade. You know what I mean? Like, I think
Dire team
that
I
back.
do like Aura's response though. That's not a hero we see very often, and when we have seen it in the SA scene, I was probably the one playing it. We haven't seen much Brewmaster in our competitive scene in many, many years. I was a staple with the hero on POS 4 for Salt, and we used to insta-pick it
10
against
seconds
illusion-based
remaining.
heroes, such as Naga Siren. Because if Naga comes into a team fight with
5
illusions out,
seconds.
and
Radiant
Brewmaster
team
splits,
back.
he insta-kill, or not insta-kills, it does 2,000 damage to illusions. But in the early game, that's basically an insta-kill. The blue panda does, the purge does 2,000 to illusions. And RDK is never going to have illusions in these fights. Like, Naga is now going to have to split push. Like, he will never,
10
and Brewmaster
seconds
gives you a lot of
remaining.
team fights. They don't really have kill combo though, but it gives you a lot of team
5
fights.
seconds remaining.
He can put this Bristle in the air, just ignore him, focus down the Snapfire and those types of heroes with the Hoodwink, and he can just purge the Naga illusions. So, I'm assuming that's why they picked it, because every time I tell people this, they didn't even know the purge did damage to illusions. Did you, HellBird?
I did actually, but that's because I'm very old, and I remember when you could purge golems and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Team
Anyways, but okay, so like, the brew
DK
is
ban.
interesting.
Okay, I'm
I'm
happy.
kind of interested
The
where
world,
it
the
goes.
world is
though.
normal again.
Do you think this is a 4-position or a 3-position brew?
So the Chinese teams have been running it as 3 and 4.
Yeah.
And LGG actually turned a game against EG with it with an Ags refresher build on the Brewmaster.
Oh come
Which
on,
means you've got 4 splits of the ulti.
that's
So,
10 seconds remaining.
yeah, it
unreasonable.
was.
Why
Yeah,
would
like
you die?
yeah,
5
Brewmaster
seconds
just
remaining.
constantly
Dire team
tornadoing someone in this fight, and
Oh
eventually
how
when
the
the split runs out.
turntables! Oh how the
Oh.
turntables!
Oh wow, the turntables. I don't like it. I don't like it. They don't have setup for Sunstrikes. I guess you can go Quaswex with this draft.
Well, they can. They have the Shadow Shaman and the Slark, so I
10
think they can.
seconds remaining.
They can definitely connect with the Sunstrikes from probably
Would you just
both lanes.
Five
Pick
To
the
be
Invoker
honest,
into
remaining.
Nyx Assassin.
that's a very good point as well.
Like,
I also think that Invokers are like okay. Is TA because obviously I don't know about like picking a TA here. I
Harry
think
the Hams is smiling all the way. Like, if Invoker meatballs a creep wave this game, Harry the Hams is going to be there. He's just going to
it's-
carapace, stun, like hit him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
It's also
Um,
almost like an awkward one for Invoker because it does make it like harder to do certain things because your combo can be interrupted by a Nyx who just decides he wants to get hit by something. So
Yeah.
that does make it kind of awkward as well. I agree with that. But I also feel there's just so many options available. Like I feel like if you're White Rabbit right now, there's too many things left on the table that I think you're happy to play into. I mean, you could even do like a Kunkka here at this point.
They can do TA, wasn't banned. They did Kunkka.
Choose your
Yeah.
hero.
Yeah.
Oh,
Petunia likes his Kunkka. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so,
very
so,
nice.
so this is, I mean, it's like an old
This
school
is a
counter.
WRG draft. Yeah, strong against Invoker in the lane. Slark hates it because you can't purge the X. So
Just ask me that we also up the fact that that I called the Kunkka. That's before Etienne did, before notAhero did. Yeah, clip that.
clip that. Like my feeling about Kunkka.
Where's
I think it's
George? Where's
probably-
George?
I think it's probably one of the most underrated heroes in the meta. It just provides you so much. It provides you tankiness. It provides you team fight. It's a lane dominator against most heroes, and yeah, bristleback with rum on him. Like that's all I'm going to say about that.
To be fair, though, I mean, they do still have the hoodwink that counts as the perspective. This is like I don't feel like Aura. I feel like WG win the draft. That's how I feel, right? I feel like but it doesn't feel like it's a total win because I still think the bristleback is handled. And it was, but if I almost picked in a different order, then I would say WG outright won, right? Like if the hoodwink was the counter to the bristleback picked after the bristleback, I would be like, oh, it's still WG's draft. And I
The
still,
Slark pick. Like the entire draft is fine on the side of Aura, but the Slark is out of place for me. They needed to have, like we said, like follow the blueprint from the first game, and the Slark
that
is
is a level 30 invoker. Mad.
well, we almost been solid. Like we saw him on that puck.
Yeah.
Like he constantly, he waited out that Invoker's BKB in the top lane, timed the coil perfectly. He's been very solid this series. So if that level 30 is any indication of how much he's been playing Invoker, then it's going to be a good one.
Prepare
But
for battle.
no, what does Slark feed off, HellBird?
I just want to.
Usually Slarks like pick off like the squishies and then snowball off those essence stacks that he gets. Like, who does he feed off in this game? He's not killing Naga, he's not killing Nyx, he's not killing Bristle. Kunkka is tanky, and Snapfire is one of your tankiest pos 5s as well. So,
Before
Until
5
he has,
I
like-
just want to find out if
Yeah?
we have a replay as well of when I called the Kunkka, because if we do, we should definitely play it.
focus on important things here.
This is important. Okay, all right. Let's see what happens here. RDK is going to scout out the smoke. Actually,
Just
put
knew
the
I was
water
gonna
in
say
there.
Kunkka, and then you
RDK?
like stole it.
RDK, are you DC'd? Oh no, he's
Nope,
not DC'd.
he's
He's
sleeping.
Sloppy State, and this is fair game. I mean, that is not how you want to start the game at all. Ooh, that is.
What was that?
Ooh, yeah.
was clearly-
I'm surprised you
his
get
hands-
multiples. Yeah.
His hands
Yeah,
wasn't
one
even
more.
on his keyboard.
Yeah, he was. He needs one more. Yeah, there we go. Keep this. They're gonna roll them in because that was not. That was not a.
Reacted. HellBird, he was on the high ground. He saw them coming from a mile away.
Do you know what the worst part is? He probably would have seen that they put a ward down as well, right? So, he would have, so what should have happened here, in an alternate
Oh, he
universe,
probably
right?
didn't see it.
Well,
He
this
probably
is the
didn't
thing.
see it.
In an alternate universe, what happens is RDK sees him put the ward down, and he just walks off, towards his outpost, and then, life goes on. And then they get, like, extra gold because they go and de-ward it immediately, right?
You know how surprised Aura was by that, because they were probably like, oh, it's a Naga illusion because it's not moving. And then suddenly he popped the illusions, and then they were like, it's not a Naga illusion, it's the real thing.
Wow.
So, I don't know, that was...
A yikes.
Yeah.
That's a yikes.
Yeah,
The good thing is, though, since it happened to RDK, I know this sounds weird, but, like, this man is not going to tilt at this point in his Dota career. He has played so much Dota, he's just like,
Yeah, but,
those guys. But it does
maybe I'm reading too much into that, but does that not maybe, like, kind of show you the mindset of what WRG is in at the moment?
And to be honest, I feel like what probably happened though is just wasn't expecting. He was probably doing something else. Like he was talking about item selections or how they're going to lane something. He was staring at something else on the map, and then he just suddenly were like, "Your hero is under attack," and the villagers were like, pleased. Yeah, so RDK is all alone up here, so he's having a bit of a hard time. He's using his illusions to get last hits, but he's got to be very careful because we've seen how good Miriam has actually been on this Hoodwink. So if Lighting can, I guess. Well, at the moment, they're actually going to they're going to respect the try, and they're going to commit to it. Bottom lane, though, Harry the Hams has been caught out here. He's able to get around Pez. He didn't have the Shaka. He went for the Hex level 1, so it means that he wasn't able to get that long hold. But regardless, they pick up yet another kill. So Repo now having to back off. Miriam is chasing him down. But this is working out just fine. And of course, Slark is... Like, I feel like Slark's pretty good against Bristleback as well. It's like one of the ones that do kind of munch a Bristleback. In lane, at least.
Snapfire goes down as well. And the thing is, this top lane is weird. RDK's got 4 losses now. Brewmaster, I love what Lightning did here. So normally with Brewmaster offlane, you'll take Drunken Brawler. But because he's now 1v1 against this Naga, he's gone Cinder Brew with Thunderclap. And he can now clear the illusions faster because of the ignite damage from it. And it just burns through them. Reaper has TP top now. I guess they realize, okay, well, our tri-lane shenanigans has not worked. We've given away 3 kills. It's like, calm it down a bit. Hoodwink is middle. Miriam?
Yeah, they wanna. I guess they're respecting the fact that Press Junior is likely to win this lane up against Invoker. Maybe they're trying to put a little bit of extra pressure on that Kunkka. You know what else I was just thinking about, notAhero, is they have those highlight reels after the EGL matches?
Yeah.
They should really consider putting that highlight of me picking Kunkka before you did in the highlight reels. Just saying. I think it would be really good for
Every game we've casted so far, like somewhere in the cast, I go, Devin, I know it's not a meta hero, but I really like Kunkka. And you just like jumped on that bandwagon tonight. You're like so right.
You know what? I'll actually explain. You see, I once got... It was actually Chelsea, Lucker, who once told me that... oh wow, they actually catch out the next. This is not looking great. And they're going to lose Minipal as well here as Miriam runs him down. He does have the Fairy Fire, so probably spoke too soon. But the damage is going to be more than enough to push him out the lane at the very least.
And this hasn't affected Brewmaster CS at all. Like, look at his CS. Like, he's matching the Naga. Now he's got 2 levels of Thunder Brew, and he's got the Drunken Brawler as well. Snapfire, like, is not going to do anything to this Brewmaster. Because the moment Snapfire little shredders you can actually just activate Drunken Brawler. So, like, okay, like, enjoy.
Reverse guard.
Yeah,
and
Harry?
This
is for the water runes.
Yeah, they are going to catch out the Invoker with the Torrent, but they actually want this fight, and Harry's there to help out. And of course, with that X, they should be able to connect with the Impale, but the support is there coming up from Pez. So nice work from Aura. They actually look really composed. I wonder if that last game was enough to almost settle the nerves. Yeah, it's...
it's also kind of like for a team like Aura, obviously you're going up against WRG, it's one of the big ones, and then you beat them, and then you kind of realize, like, guys, if we keep it crisp, we play good Dota and limit our mistakes, we're better than these guys, and then you come in like hyper focused. Yeah, the rotations have been good. Slark is he going Echo Saber? Yeah, he's going Echo Saber.
So bottom lane.
He's in trouble.
This is a tough lane as well for the Nyx. I mean, very hard to deal with the Slark. I mean, if you do catch him out where you know he's going to get caught out, you have to kind of pump fake the Impale because he can just dark pact it off. So it's not great for the Nyx. And once again, I do think he just, as long as that guy just keeps tagging Meepa, just giving some love taps whenever he comes forward. You can see he's doing that. Like I'm watching bottom lane at the moment.
Just got an orb of corrosion.
Yeah, the moment he comes forward,
and he's got an orb of corrosion now.
It's very hard for the Bristleback to deal with it. I mean, he's done a great job, I gotta say. He's done a far better job than I expected he was. He's kind of winning this lane.
Yes.
Yeah, no, he's... It feels like it shouldn't be like this, but I guess also Slark needs a little bit of time to get an item or two that helps him do this. So from here on, it's actually very hard as well, because I'm that guy who can also just start making his way into the fog when he needs to regen up, and of course it means that he's not scared of the stacks from the
kills has helped the Slark though. Like they're on the same amount of net worth. But the moment this Bristleback gets Vanguard, he's pretty close to it. He's not going to. I don't think he'll be able to kill him, but Bristle should also not be able to. Oh, they're going on top.
Yeah, they actually do manage to catch out Lightning here, and they brought in Harry the Hams into this lane. Miriam is trying to help out his friend, RDK, looking for the body blocks, trying to get in front. Does actually find himself in a spot of trouble. They turn this one around. No, how absurd. Is RDK going to fall here? He might just. They want to finish the job and do. Lightning realizes he's happy to make that trade. There's so much rest on that Naga. Oh, wow, man.
So he's just going to heal back up.
This is almost like watching a team come alive whilst another one goes to sleep. Right now, WG, this is not the WG we know enough, but mid lane, Preston wants to turn things around. He does connect with that combination. That is one of the reasons why you have to fear a mid Kunker. He's got 2 braces up. He is tanky. He's going to finish off his phase boots as well soon. And of course, I think that's an Invoker player who knows what's what, and that is a expected outcome. He's struggling mid though. 50 for 8 for Precious, against 23 for 3 on the Invokers. So it's a good thing for WG that they have one lane going so well. That's got to be said.
Yeah, but this is going to put pressure on Petunia though. He needs to start taking this advantage that he has. The moment he gets a power rune, like a haste or something,
Reaper is probably going to fall here. Lightning brings him down. I gotta say as well, RDK is actually farming nicely. When I actually went to the net worth graph and look at RDK, he's like, he's chilled. He's sitting up there with.
And it's a Naga. Yeah, and it's a Naga, so it's gonna just go to the jungle at one point and just completely take over the map, farm it up, and like we said, they don't really have much tools to deal with it. I guess there's
bottom lane to catch out the Bristleback, and he does have the Vanguard up, so he is a tanky fella. And Evesports has to respect that they're gonna bring in a big rotation as well. I'm the guy gonna back off. The Sunstrike will also go wide. They are just on the run. Shadow Shaman is blocking this man for the longest time. He's just, get out of my way, you're literally the slowest hero that is on this map at the moment, and I am the fastest. Go away. And I'm that guy will survive here, and it did bring in a fairly hefty rotation for WOG. They actually also committed the Kunker for a little while. Their Precious decide to linger around, but he's back in mid. They're going to once again commit to the fight. A lot of damage comes out onto the Nyx. Assassin gets out a beautiful double impale though, and Pez will fall down. The Sunstrike misses, but Miriam is in a lot of trouble. He's trying to back off. He doesn't have much. Minipa, I don't care about towers, but he goes the wrong way. He's taking a lot of damage from I'm that guy, but he's also going to respect the fact that he can't take too many cool sprays. There's a lot of support that can come in from Reaper. He can hurt him, potentially catch him on the cookie, but it's going to be a Reaper who gets caught out instead. He rolls up that Dark Pact as well, and they do connect with the stun as well. So Reaper will fall down. Harry the Hams, he's going to join the fray again, but they do bring in the Shaman again here. And Minipa, very low, but they haven't quite been able to finish the job. He's got that back turned. He does have one level in Bristleback, and they do finally connect with the Shackle, and the Sharpshooter belongs to him as well. So WOG lose a couple here, but they bring the Invoker down mid. So Precious Petunia is doing a really good job of just making sure that things are not all going the way of Aura at the moment.
While the bottom was going on, Lightning also used the Bruce split top and tried to kill RDK. The moment the split landed up, he was actually forced back to base. He TP'd to base to survive. Now he's going to move to the jungle. But Aura has made a mistake
is in trouble again as Lightning is having the time of his life. The Sunstrike again misses, and that Reaper should fall regardless. Oh no! Surprise! It's Meepa!
What a cookie.
That surprise was definitely for me.
That was such a good cookie. That was ridiculous.
I love the fact that he didn't do it to himself, as I think, like I would have. I was like, dude, leave me alone. I'm cooking myself. But instead, he actually turns one around. I think he dies here. He doesn't have mana.
He doesn't have a TP.
Yeah.
He's got Soul Ring though. No in charges. But they've made a big mistake on Aura Gaming. Please look at Brewmaster's items and then click on Invoker as well.
Oh, I don't like where this is going. I don't want to do it. I don't do it. But the Observer probably did it already. Ooh. You know why those look identical? They don't. But they're almost identical. That means Invoker never he never gets known, right? Like you're the ranged hero here.
Brewmaster should not have gone in. Like that's your Invoker build. He didn't go Quas Vex though, so I'm not too sure. But if your Invoker's picking up Urn, your Brewmaster should. Like if someone's gonna be buying Urn in your team, then Invoker is the one that's gonna do it. Like if you guys said we needed an Urn, like he's the one.
Yeah,
so,
it like, sucks as well because you're struggling on that Invoker. You need that thing, and you're not getting any value out of it now. So
yeah, and it's also like it could have been like close to Brewmaster. That's half of Brewmaster's Blink Dagger. His Phase Boots could have been completed.
Lighting will fall down here as well. So Repo, done a good job. I love the fact he goes back in like, remember me? I played you a moment ago, and now I'm gonna get the kill. So that's pretty good for WOG. But even better is they've actually taken
a big rotation. Like Kunkka.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Top row.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason for him to be mid. He's taken mid, and of course, he's set back Invoker, and with that item selection again, it's not great. He's going for the double nulls. This is so weird, because I kind of feel like you now need to make this work, so you need to play Dota a bit differently, like almost split them up, you know?
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, this is a... Like, they looked so sharp until I saw that, and they still look good. They're making good rotations, but WRG's got a 3k lead, but it's all on the Kunkka. So, Urn could have... Like, Invoker's like going Witchblade or Midas at the moment. And this could have been a Witchblade, it could have been half as well.
Oh, hold on. So, Milipa's caught out, he's broken as well! Very nice kill here. They invaded the jungle. Actually, not sure. I didn't check the stacks. I don't know if you did, because I'm guessing there were quite a few. That is why they were there and interested. But you know, another kill, keeping that clock. I mean, it's weird because you're probably looking at this. If you separate the scoreboards, right? You're 10 and 4 in 10 minutes. Man, we're doing so well, but you're not. And that's all pretty much on this Kunkka at the moment.
And that's the thing. Like, we can see the net worth, but Aura is probably looking at it and going like, guys, we're ahead. But meanwhile, this Kunkka is so massive. He's 2,000 net worth above everyone. Like, he is so... But Petunia needs to now start making movements. He's got 3,000 gold, Devin. Is he... Don't tell me he's going Radiance.
He's going Radiance. That's exactly what he's doing.
Man.
Now, this is the thing I wanted to point out, and this is different. You and I cast a game not too long ago where I made the criticism that if you go Radiance, you don't apply the pressure that you would have in that build-up. But Precious Petunia is actually so far ahead that I'm okay with this, because he's still applying pressure. He's actually going to kill Invoker here again, and they got Mortimer trying to back him up as well. So they do get a lot of damage onto Harry the Hams, but he will get off this by Carapace, which means that they're going to have to wait a little bit longer for their meal, but it's going to be a trade that they are so happy to make. They get the Invoker for the Nyx, and, well, Precious Petunia, this is the thing, he is still adding value on the map whilst moving towards the Radiance. Once he has it as well, Kunkka is such a tanky fella. He really is.
I would have liked to see. I would have just liked to see Armlet, and then probably like Heaven's HellBird, because then Slark is pretty useless in these fights. Or Armlet,
the Shadow Shaman again. Precious Petunia did in fact give them a chance to get down the Serpent Wards. A little bit of help is coming in from he wants to get some revenge. This would be an important kill if they can slow down that Radiance. It would be very significant. So at the moment, it looked like they'll have enough. The Torrent does connect though, but look at the block. They did manage to get a little bit of help from Harry the Hams, but unfortunately for him, that just meant he sealed his own fate as well. And Aura get a couple here. Lightning is running down onto Milipa. He's going to use the Panda ulti as he goes down onto Milipa. He's going to back off towards his tier 1 tower. That tower is obviously going to give him the extra armor, and there's no break available, so got to be careful. Sunstrike does connect though, and it means that Milipa should fall here. No! No! Why are you like this, dude? How can you be so cruel? He actually managed to finish him off regardless. I thought he was done for, but no.
Yeah, I thought he was dead too. When the Sunstrike hit him, I thought he was dead. He had an arcane rune. He had an arcane rune.
Wow.
He's got an arcane rune, so he was full spraying so much. I think if it wasn't for that arcane rune, they might have killed him, because like he just kept popping the cool sprays, the warpath stacks kept ramping up, so he got additional movement speed. So he was really fast. But Petunia is he's getting Radiance. I guess he's far enough ahead to do this, but I do think they can seal this game pretty significantly. Oh, he didn't.
Sorry,
X?
mid lane. They re-engage her. They didn't actually connect. They wanted. They do go on to the next, but it looks like they changed their mind, which means that Harry the Ham's able to turn this one around. Shadow Shaman very low. He gets caught up by the torrent as well, and he is brought down. Oh no, they lose both supports. Oh, that sleekness that they opened this game with has been lost, and unfortunately it's starting to pull away from them as well. RDK is doing RDK things. He is also now finding his space that he needs. He's starting to farm a lot and create a big gap between himself and the Slark. This game is not looking great all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's the difference between this and Kunkka and the Invoker. Kunkka is literally double the Invoker's net worth, like double, 8k to 4k. I don't know. I think in a matchup like this, you should have gone Crosswex. I know the X-Sword is obviously way more damage. Oh, Brewmaster's dead.
Radiant's almost complete on the Kunkka as Lightning.
Is he dead?
Doesn't have the Brewlings available. I think Bilipa finishes the job. He gets cooking. Oh, but the interruption coming out
He's broken.
from Miriam. It means they actually turn this one around. They're going to bring down the Bristleback instead. So definitely still have some fancy footwork.
Slark is in.
Try to turn things around here with the Invoke coming. They're focusing the attention to the Kunkka. He drops down the Ghost, the Ghost ship as the Coco run flies through, but he actually didn't pass through it. So he's taking all the damage in the world, and now they want to turn things around. Lightning, it's his turn. Repo, do you remember me this time? And he gets the last laugh in this one. We'll go the way of the Stark as well, so a little bit of extra bonus for it. What has he got coming in? There's no ways that's all he has, right? Is it on its way?
Yeah, it's the late Echo Saber. Like I saw the pro team when they were getting this item. You're looking at like a 12-13 minute is like your ideal timing. So he's getting it like 15 minutes. Like this is kind of the same time some heroes get Battle Fury. So Slark doesn't farm really fast. He is struggling to get there. Oh, Shadow Shaman.
Yeah, again they're thinking about this Bristleback, but they have to be careful. They do find the TP that was cancelled. Sharpshooter goes wide, so Milipa realizes that he is going to be a-okay for a little while, and I think Aura should probably respect this. They do get up a pretty good engagement.
They still have Brewmaster split. They can just put this Bristle in the air. They can just ignore him.
Deafening Blast goes through and hits all three. Looks like they will err on the side of caution. Got to really respect the Kunkka. He's got that Radiance up as well now, so Tanky deals a lot of damage, and more importantly, I think he's just creating space. RDK is disinterested in anything other than making sure that he is farming away.
Yeah, they have to gank RDK. They have to gank RDK. Like he's just being left completely alone. This team just keeps running at Aura, and like it's kind of 50-50 at the moment. Like WLG wins the one and then Aura wins the other one. But the difference is the Slark is committing to these fights because he feels he has to, so he can get essence shift stacks. Where RDK is just kind of, he's a happy camper, just farming away. He's got his Manta. He just needs to get to.
Please look at Harry the Hams. He is seeing everything. Doesn't want the courier. He looked at it. He thought about it. No. Give all the information. Just actually toggle for a second. Just see how much information they're actually getting.
Sentries there. They see him. Do they see him for a second there?
Yeah. I don't think it's sentry.
That's Dire sentry. My bad. Apologies. They just put a sentry down. Yeah, they have to preemptively start setting these sentries. Oh, but this Invoker is. This Ernest hurts him so bad. He's going Vessel.
Oh, Lighting. They're going to find the pick on pressure between. They do manage to control, but a beautiful double impale comes through and sets up for the Mortimer. They do manage to finish off the Coco Rum Bringer, but in the end, can they make it count? They go forward again. They're going to toss up the Bristleback into there as Repo fleeing at the moment. Lightning wants to burn him down with the Fire Panda, and he does manage to toss him up in the air. He gets the Dark Pact up as well, so Repo will fall here. Another Essence Shift Shaft. Essence Shift Stack will be available, and of course they get the Courier, which had the Solar Crest recipe and some Observe Wards, so a little bit extra. So they get two. They did lose the Shadow Shaman. Good fight in the end, but I don't think it's enough because once again the 1,000 gold swing, that's great, but RDK is probably already farmed that back because he is just once again going to work on the top lane, not interested in these fights.
We kind of saw what the Radiance did for Petunia there in that fight, and that was absolutely nothing. So
sorry, this is awkward. They've managed to catch up the Shadow Shaman, and he doesn't know which is the real RDK, and he won't ever know because he gets brought down very, very cheaply in the end. I'm not too sure what that was. Maybe just a little bit of I mean, RDK was just like, okay, well, I'll accept this if you want it.
He probably thought it was only illusions, and the real Naga is not there.
Sorry, mid lane though, they turn the favor. Sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, I can't, like usually like when Naga does that, the real Naga is not in between them. Like it's just kind of the illusions pushing out the lane. And oh, they're TPing top now, but he has Song. He's just gonna Song and TP out. And the tower is gone. They're going for the bristles.
He's gonna have to help out this bristles back. They do connect with the ice wall as well. And I'm like, look at the damage he's actually taking. He's gonna get the leash off, but as you mentioned, RDK, he's gonna pop the Song, but he was TPing out.
Before.
But they still have the disable these two. The cold snap is there, and they're bringing the support that they needed. So they do get yet another kill. Aura are still certainly able to find kills pretty much at will, but the problem is that it feels like they're on a timer, and the timer is going faster than it should be in a way, because RDK is just getting away with this. He's getting so much space on the map.
I do hear what you're saying, but the plus side for Aura is the Slark is joining all these engagements, and he's getting perma essence. Like he's up to 9 perma essence, HellBird. Like that's a lot of perma essence. So he is scaling, put it that way. Slark is a hero that can scale indefinitely. He will have problems dealing with these Naga illusions, but like we said, they've got the Brewmaster. So regardless of how farmed RDK is in this game, if the Panda is in the fight with him, he will just purge the illusions and kill them. So top middle.
Oh, they know. The pings come out. They smoked and disappeared, so they know that Harry the Hams he's hanging around, he's doing his thing. They're still interested though. I mean, you can check that the Invoker, he actually might find a little more than he bargained for. He does connect with the full combo, but there it is. We spoke about the stun comes up, and Precious Petunia should be brought down, and he is. The Kokorum does connect on time the guy, but he is the 9. He's going to get his HP back in a second. And it looks like they want to continue this fight. Miriam, he's so aggressive, Squirrel! This is not where he belongs, this is the front lines! But he doesn't care because he buys another stack for that guy. What's happening down here? They're gonna find the kill onto the Shadow Shaman, but RDK, he's actually in a little bit of trouble potentially here. The Cookie trying to bail him out. Does he have Song? 10 seconds. The tornado flies through, but he's tossed up in there. They just got it. They need to finish him off fast because 5 seconds, he's gonna sing and go home. It's gonna be 2 seconds too late. And Minipa, he's in trouble. He wanted to help buy time now. Turns his attention as lightning. He's got to be careful. There's a lot of damage coming out from the spray monster, and they do manage to get the break off. They finished the job. And that is everything that Aura needed in one neatly tight little package that started off from a broken smoke. That is huge.
I'm gonna openly say, like, Aura's drafting this game, apart from the Slark pick, and it's working for them, so they're proving me wrong. They're going metal. But like this Brewmaster pick into the Naga was absolutely genius. You saw on the bottom, RDK popped his illusions. The Brewmaster insta-panned them. Oh, he's dead.
He's not. Oh, Harry the Hams will finish
the job.
But they want to turn this one around. Precious Petunia isn't brought down, and unfortunately for him, that guy wasn't able to get on top of him. RDK comes back into the fray here. They do once again connect with yet another X, and it should result in falling down, but he's able to just run off onto the ice path, and RDK finds enough of this, but they bring down the Cook. He walked into the ice wall, so he fell before he could contribute to the fight. They do once again have the Slark beeping down onto Repo, and he finishes the job onto him. Where's RDK? I don't even know where he is at the moment, but they're trying to keep this Invoker alive. He is in a lot of trouble. Finally, RDK does find some prey. They'll finish the job, so they take that fight well in the end. Oh, this game is so back and forth now.
Yeah, I don't think they should be fighting when Brewmaster doesn't have split. If Brew split is there, the Naga has no impact. We saw it in the bottom fight. He needs to go Ags now. Is he going shot before Ags? I don't think he should do that. But yeah, if he gets Aghanims, then like he's got 2 charges. You can fight twice as many times or twice as frequently, and then you're good. But don't fight without this Brew split. Slark did get some kills there, 14 perma agi. And he's going Scotty and he's not far off it. Like he's only 3k behind this Naga. So the Slark pick he is scaling, but free Roshan.
Yeah, that's an important moment for W. I just want you to soak this in. If you're watching this game and perhaps you don't know the teams too well, you're not too familiar with Aura or WRG, perhaps you're new to the competitive scene, welcome. But this is the thing that I find so ridiculous. Aura are in with the sniff right now of eliminating WRG from this tournament. WRG were a qualifier side. They came through the qualifiers, but they were also the team that missed out. They were the 5th seed. They were the one side that just didn't get invited. They would have had that spot.
And they also forfeited a game in the qualifiers that made them in like 5th to 7th. It wasn't that they lost; that they forfeited the game.
Correct. I mean, so they're a fantastic team with a fantastic legacy right now. But this is a wild card side. They could have just not been here if the roll of the dice wasn't as kind. You know,
and then we might not have seen this series.
Radiant's top
Like
tower is
fate
under
has been
attack.
kind to a spectator, but maybe not so much to WRG.
That is a very fair point. But
Big Rex
okay,
on the bushel.
they've managed to catch out RDK here. Does he have Song? He does. And he's got an Aegis. So what does he choose to do? He's taking so much time. He looks like he's going to try to just run this one off with the Song, but
Radiant's top tower
he
is
does
under
have an Aegis
attack.
to play around.
Well, I was watching the
Sunstrike
bristle
doesn't
fight.
connect. The Sunstrike doesn't connect. That was so close. They almost got the... In fact, they may still get it. RDK, they might get more out of this. He realizes he is under pressure. He starts to TP out. Do they find him? Doesn't look like it. He'll keep his Aegis fight, but on the other side of the river, it's going to go the other way again. They pick up the Slark, and that's a big streak as well. WRG, tired of the nonsense. They'll get away with a little bit of good fortune. RDK picking the right angles to keep his Aegis alive. But more importantly, they pick up the Slark as well. So,
But the bottom was touch and go. They broke the bristleback with the hoodwink. Stark was hitting him, and Petunia hit a clutch torrent to save the bristleback's life. If they kill the bristle there, Stark gets out. But just Petunia coming in with the torrent at the correct time saved the bristleback, and they got the turnaround kill on the hoodwink and the Slark. So that's really bad for Aura because it wasn't a trade, and they were so close to killing this Naga Siren top. They should just not go in the Naga if the Brewmaster's not there. So it's such a strange game.
additionally, I want to point out that they have a new problem to deal with, because if you take a look at the graphs for a moment, the one in particular that you should turn your attention to is the XP. 5k is obviously a lot of money, but it's not a huge amount of money at 25 minutes. It's effectively one item.
No,
playing
it's
into.
one team fight.
Yeah.
It's one team fight difference.
The
So-
XP is a problem though. Almost sitting on 6,000 in favor of WRG. That is a significant amount. If you take a look at the hero levels now, you'll see how that's paying off. And it's paying off in the form of everyone just being like a smidgen ahead, right? But it's all of those units that are just slightly ahead of their opposite numbers on the other side of the map. And you can literally see it. There's the Snapfire, Repo, one level ahead of Pezbot. There's
mainly
Miriam,
on the
one level
board.
below Harry the
Yeah.
Hands. There's 2 levels between Lightning and Milipa, and then there's 1 level between Press Junior and Om. But obviously, the one thing they have going through is I'm the guy who's actually got the most experience in the game. We'll
Harry?
change shortly. But
Harry is scouting. Oh, they see him though. There's sentries there. Ooh. Ooh, both teams kind of like dancing around each other there.
It's under attack.
This bottom lane is pushing it. Okay, there's no catapult bottom. They're fine. Are they going to fight this? They've got Brewmaster split, but there's still ages on the Naga.
Tornado doesn't quite connect. They're going to try to slow this down a little bit with Deafening Blast, but they will lose their tier 2 towers. Pezbot overstepping. That is a unfortunate mistake, but it does potentially open up this fight for them. On the back lines, Lightning took a lot of damage, but he's able to get the split off, and they were able to bring down the Brewmaster alongside that. I'm that guy
Missing
who
into
wants
the
to
Naga.
deal with RDK. RDK, he's actually caught on the high ground here. He's too far in. They're going to bring down the Aegis. The Impale will go through. They drop the Serpent Wards down. They're going to lock him inside at the moment, but in they go. They want to turn their attention back onto the Slark. He actually uses it in his favor. He's still got the pounce available. He's trying to turn his attention back. The pathing not great, but RDK should fall here. He's so low. Finally is brought down. They have the Ice Wall down as well, so Lightning has a little bit of protection. He's brought down regardless. And Repo and Precious Junior, they're on the back foot. Now they're heading off. And Miriam, he finds his target, and they get the shackle off, which means yet another stack. 16. Read it. 1-6 permanent agility stolen.
Oh.
In my mind, that makes him the richest person on the map. He's 2k behind the Naga, right? More like 1.5, but he's got so much extra armor and damage, attack speed, all of this going from with this.
That's what we spoke about. Like, even though the Naga was free farming, Slark kept getting perma stacks in these fights, and 16 agi is extremely significant. He's still hasn't got the spot yet.
I don't know if you wanted to pick this fight, Pressure, Petunia. They're going to go right on top of him, and with that DD, they'll finish the job easily. And now, even though Torrent Storm's up and doing so much work, they're going to connect onto Minipa as well, and they're catching it. Are WG going home? I mean, right now, it looks like WG are going home because the momentum is totally in the favor of Aura. They're doing so much work. They fought into an Aegis, and they're staring down their opponent's tier 3. They're going to go take the outpost instead.
They're go top. They're just going to go straight top. Outpost on top. The lane has been pushed in. WRG underestimating... But Petunia needs a BKB. This Radiance build has not done anything for them in these fights. The Radiance hasn't contributed. Like, I want to see the damage that's from Radiance at the end of the game. But I just feel if he went Armlet BKB into this Ags, he would have been such a bigger threat on the map than this Radiance. Because the moment he picked up the Radiance, he died 3 times in a row. He is still significantly high on net worth. Next.
Wait, bottom lane. Yeah, watch this. This is a trap. You're trapped, friend. You've been caught out here. WG is going to lose another. RDK is coming in, but the split is there. And they get the hoodwink connection as well. RDK! He will get the song out. But guess what? There's one Broodling still around. They miss with the sharpshooter because why not? But they interrupt the TP. RDK is going to be shackled up. RDK is going to fall. And so will the tier 3 tower.
Why is he TPing in front of the Brewmaster split? Green Panda is invulnerable, guys. BKB hero.
Okay, can they hold out here? They're going up the high ground. The Coco run will hit, but they do get themselves onto the back line. A lot of damage being dealt by the Bristleback, even though he's on the back foot. Mortimer trying to help out. Lightning should be fine on the sidelines as well. He manages to walk down the mid lane, and now look at I'm That Guy go. He's got so many stacks built up. The 20 permanent shifts, and Aura are doing it. Aura are knocking out WOG. It's happening before your eyes, an absurd upset.
Lightning
wild
is playing
team.
out of his mind. This
Wild team.
Oh, it's been broken.
Bristleback in trouble, but they might be able to finish off the Slock. And dude, that is a big and important pickoff, because if they lost the Bristleback for naught, they were going to lose this game right there and then.
Ooh. But yeah, Lightning on this Brewmaster is doing so much work. This Naga pick is just not viable at the moment against them. If he gets the split off, the illusions are cleared instantly. RDK TPing right in front of the Brew there. The Green Panda just stuns him. I don't know, like, what... I guess we don't see this hero much. So, obviously, like, maybe, like, a little bit of brain lapse. Oh, Harry is gonna... Is he gonna kill him? No. No, it's a counter kill.
Again, it's all just starting to fall apart. They were looking for the Roshan. He's not up yet, and perhaps that's a little bit kind to WOG, because they would be in a pretty solid position even without the Slark, just to, you know, throw some bodies at it and potentially wear it down. Not great, I guess, but they do have the Vlads up, for example, so I guess they could do it, but in the end they get a free pick-off on the Nyx anyways.
I don't like the Satanic that the Slark is going. It doesn't give status resistance anymore. I guess he doesn't have a BKB, so he's looking for a debuff, but I do think that can just be a BKB instead. They're going on
another one. It's a very hard target to finish off, and they get a little... Oh no, it's still connected. I thought the Sunstrike was going to miss. They even connect the Serpent Wars. I mean, that was not necessary, but at the same time, just win. It's Precious Junior, right?
He's dead. I guess that's what's counting. Brewmaster has Axe now. He's got 2 charges of split. This Naga, he needs to stay away from this Bristle. But yeah, I think Slark needs to go BKB over the Satanic. I guess with the agi that he has, he just wants to beef up. But I think if he has a BKB, he's completely free in these fights. But there's no Kunkka for this defense.
Yeah, and they are not showing any respect to the potential buyback. They walk straight up the hill, and they connect onto the Bristleback. He's caught up by the Meteor, the Deafening Blast as well. He's taking so much damage. The Sunstrike's there. Bristleback's down. WOG are falling apart. The buyback comes out. But Aura, they want this, and they're going deep in. They commit the first Brewlings. They've got to be careful that they don't lose all of them, but they are looking mighty chuffed right now. I'm That Guy starts backing off. Harry the Hands will connect with the Impale, but there's still an LP on the Slark, and he will get the LP off. Nice little bit of spike carapace, but it's not going to be enough to keep up the Nyx, and he is brought down. RDK backing up, gets a little bit of help with the cookies, so goes forward, but he's controlled, tossed up in the air. Lightning, he's going to finish off Repo. He's very low, gets the 4-star back, but they're still chasing. They're going to use the song as Lightning's Earth Panda is able to walk out. They're going to catch everyone, and the Coco Run comes through. WRG, they don't catch anything though. The timing was just off, but Lightning in trouble. No charges left. They should be able to deal with the Panda finally. The man's tanky, but not tanky enough. Does fall down.
Did get the one lane of racks. Got what they came for. Only lost their Brewmaster. Was there any buybacks by WRG there? I'm not sure. But yeah, got the one lane of racks. They can just kind of rinse, repeat. Slark is getting close to the Satanic. He is not keeping buyback though, which is very interesting. 32-minute game, no buyback. Oh, Slark.
I was going to say, this is the hero that bought back. You asked the question, here's the answer. It was Milipa. And he's in trouble here. He's just being slowly tortured to death. Milipa's going to fall. He's down for ages. He's done for ages. Because that Roshan's going to pick up for in a moment. Roshan will respawn in 45 seconds. He's down for 80. And of course, they're going to wait for their panda. It's all going to align. The stars are literally aligning right now for Aura. Everything is lining up for one of the biggest upsets you will ever see in South African Dota. The wild card team taking down a champion side. WRG, as an MGO, are one of the most famous Dota teams in the country. Their legacy is enormous, and their players are truly formidable. Who is Aura? Have you ever heard of them before? I wouldn't blame you if you hadn't, but right now, they're making their names right here tonight in front of you as they bring down Repo. They set up the perfect timing for this Roshan. Stick around, Miriam, because it's right there. He's right there.
Roshan spawned, guys.
They missed it. They actually...
They should put a Forge Spirit in the
Could
pit.
fate be this cruel?
They should put a Forge Spirit in the pit. Move your Forge Spirit. Like, oh. But the thing is that now, once again, WRG is being pressured, and now they're going back to this, like, I'm going to split push strategy. And I don't know if it's going to work. Like, RDK needs to get a Swift Blink, and he needs this Basher. He needs to drop the Falcon Blade, so he needs effectively 2 more items. They should, I don't know if they took a Roche timer, but they should know it's up.
They go in aggressively in the top lane. They're going to commit the Serpent Wards as well. They're going to bring down the Nyx at the very least, I think. He stays alive a little while longer. They're going to fall apart here. They don't get the kill that they're looking for. The Torrent is just doing so much work as well, controlling the fight. The Sharpshooter did connect, and it will break the Bristleback, but they weren't able to get what they needed out of the deal. They find the kill in the Nyx, but careful. Lightning, he's in trouble. He's going to lose his first Primal Split. He doesn't have a second one up. He wants to deal with Milipa, but Milipa does have his back turn. He's no longer broken. RDK wants to turn things around here. They do have the stock, apply himself to RDK, and a little bit of help comes out from Miriam, but is it enough? They do have the stock on the runs now. They also do have Invoker falling back, and they're going to try run him down. They drop the Sentry Ward.
They should back
He
away.
may not have seen it. They do fall back. They get the top racks at the very least, but Roshan actually may swing the other way, and this could be truly cruel fate. It feels like maybe there's an opening here for WG because they can take the Roshan now. Although
he bought out for the Satanic. I don't like this. Like 35 minutes into the game, you've got 22 perma agi. You are killable because you don't have a BKB, and he's opted not to buy back. They know the Roche is up. They did scout it with their Invoker, but they can't give this. They're gonna have to. Brewmaster has split. They need to contest this.
we spoke about fate and how cruel it might be here, because they missed that Roshan by a second, and now they're gonna lose.
It's not going down too quickly.
Okay, well they get a huge engagement off. It's enormous, and WOG, they have to run out of the Roche, but they have to deal with this damage. The EMP though,
have to get in there.
they're trying to commit to the Roshan. RDK, he's sitting on Roshan now as well. The Bushwhacker Master goes through with the sharpshooter and does connect, but in the end the reward is there. And the Stark went in, he leapt in there, he connected with nothing. Aura, not like this. Miriam so low, should be brought down. The Cataclysm comes through. The Coco Rum flies as well. And on the back lines, the Torrent doing so much work to control things. The BKB is popped by Precious Jr. He's running around. Miriam will be caught out. He is brought down as well. The buyback comes from the Snapfire. They do find the Kunka and Millipa. He's in trouble now. Aura, they're going to bring down the Bristleback. And RDK, he's got the Aegis, but he is on an island right now. He needs the support to find the way back in. Harry the Hams and Kobe are going to get there, and they'll get there just in time to watch the Aegis drop. But that's where they need it to be. EMP flies through. They're trying to deal with the support combo. And RDK, he is going to find his way onto the Invoker, and he should be able to bring him down. But he is, once again, starting to feel a bit lonely. The buyback comes back. RDK, he drops the song. He wants out. This fight's over.
Look at the base. Look at the base. Tier 4s are being hit.
being demolished by the dual catapult waves that are pushed in on the side lanes. Are they going to finish the job? They might just. Only one buyback in the game at the moment. It belongs to the Panda.
They can get megas here. They need to push.
RDK, he doesn't. There's no buybacks available. They're
Stark keeps their
alone
buyback
here.
here. If Stark keeps buyback now, they can end this game.
He has
Like,
that
even if he
buyback.
does-
The tier
Look at
3
his
falls
edgy
in.
though.
They're looking.
Look at his edgy.
Oh my soul! He is a machine gun right now.
Hit the building. Hit the buildings.
He goes in aggressively here, and RDK and co, they're trying to deal with it, but the tornado will connect. The meatball will hit nothing but neck. They do get the PK off of Depression. He has to stay alive. The Coco Rum flies through. He'll buy a little bit of time. The lead
Hit the
goes wide. The
building.
Cataclysm goes down. White Rabbit Gaming. They're on their last legs here, but they are being given a bit of a lifeline because they don't finish off the Mega. Just a Shadow Shaman still attaching himself to the racks, and he will find the first. They'll finally start going for the objectives, and they do get the Megas. They get the connection with the Shackle onto the Kunkka, but he stays alive thanks to his own torrent, and they are now dropping those Serpent
Let me
Claws,
get the
and they
Petunia.
are bringing down Precious Petunia. They will bring down Millipur and WRG. They'll say goodnight. They'll say goodbye to EGL because Aura are going through. They have defeated a titan in South African esports. A monster. Because tonight, it's going to be the stag over the rabbit. Because Aura Gaming, 2-1 victors here tonight. EGL has delivered another moment in South African competitive gaming history. You have to really breathe it in, man.
What? What just happened in my life? Like, if I've asked you beginning of the tournament, or if I told you beginning of the tournament, Aura Gaming is going to be WRG, what you would have told me I'm smoking something. You would have said no. What are you talking about?
I would have asked you who Aura is. That's the that's with all the love in the world. It just this was not on the script. This was never supposed to happen.
So there was like crucial things here. I think this Brewmaster pick against the Naga was absolute genius, and Lightning played it very well. He used the Purge on the illusions effectively. He stunned the Naga during sleep. It was executed extremely well. But then also there was so many lapses from WRG, because you go and pick Bristleback when Hoodwink is first picked, and we saw the effect. Millipar was 2 for 12, HellBird. 2 for 12, because he would just get broken by this Hoodwink, and he would get killed by 2 supports. Like very good execution and like strategy by Aura Gaming, and I think very sloppy execution by WRG.
I'm literally shaking. Like I'm literally shaking. It was. I saw this moment where I thought maybe like WG to get the Aegis that would be on the split second time. That's how we'd remember this, because that was part of the script, right? The team the team that has proven in the past that they are just a group of memorable legends in the South African community. But Aura didn't care about the script tonight. Do you remember that moment where we spoke about? It was at the beginning of this game. At the beginning of this game, Fate wanted to do us, a real solid, because we were speaking about what is the team that you want to beat to grow. What is the side that you want to be? And you made the comment.
What is your stepping stone? And I said WRG is Aura's stepping stone, and they just showed us. Like,
it just
like I'm out of breath after that. Like,
that is
happened. Like,
that is so amazing. I think South African Dota, once again, we said it going into this tournament. We said it again and again. We said, let the top teams play. Let them have these opportunities. And we have a new top team now. Like, that's how I feel. Because Aura legitimately looked very good. And there were mistakes there that they can solve. You know what I mean? Like, we haven't even seen their final form. And let's take stock for a moment. Team Pingu, they were a team that I think we all had very high hopes for. We had very high expectations for coming to this tournament. And they are, by any measurement, a fantastic side. But they were only able to win one main event matchup. They only were able to take one main event matchup. And they're out. WRG, one of the sides that we spoke about being a bit of a dark horse, a side that wanted to prove that they were still one of the best. And they have been knocked out here tonight. And that means that
you know, what else is going to happen? I mean, is Punks up next? I'd be horrified if I was Punks at this point. Like, all the teams, all my brethren, my you know, my leading
the
friends.
mighty is falling, like type of vibe. Like lower bracket, if you one of the top 5 or top 6 teams in South Africa, you don't want to be in the lower bracket because these guys are coming for you. It's happened twice. Like in this week, it's happened twice. Like Hayes Gaming beating Team Pingu, like convincingly in a 2-1 series, and this second the second and third game didn't. Yes, there were lapses where WRG was back in it, but it never felt like Aura was out of reach.
Yeah,
and just like good strategy. Like I really love seeing things like that. Naga Siren comes out and then they go Brewmaster. That for me is. I love stuff like that. Like it's clear why RDK having a complete Brewmaster brain lapse, like TPing right in front of a Green Panda when he songed, and it was so well done. But I'm not gonna take anything away from Aura. That was an amazing performance. They beat one of the best teams in the country, and they progressed to keep their EGL dream alive.
and of course, who knows? Is it going to be Zulls that they meet in the future? They obviously will play up against either Zulls or Punks, and I'm supposed to say, cool, you know, we're going to see the Punks game, but I don't know if that's true, and that's great, that's fantastic. I mean, I have like almost a fresh look at this. I mean, let's just once again, we'll take stock and we'll call it a night there, but we have Sinister 5 versus DUC, right? Sinister 5 is star-studded. It is one of the best teams I think that has ever been put together as far as individual skill goes. And DUC, they've been on this upward trend, and I kind of look at it and go like, is it that unbelievable that maybe we have a DUC winner bracket final?
Well, DUC was the only team that took a game off Sun 5 last year in the tournaments.
So who knows, right? And then of course you have Energy versus XD, and Energy are on fire at the moment. But it's also a team that they're playing against a side who have also beaten them in recent competition. So who knows how that ends up? I mean, could you imagine Sinister 5 and Energy being in the lower bracket and like Punks going home or something alongside Pingu and WRG? Who knows at this point? All I know is that this is a special competition and a very special time for South African Dota. So don't go anywhere. Do not miss a moment. Support the community casters when they're broadcast. I believe that there's the Punks versus MLG Zulls matchup is in fact one of the community matches. So make sure you don't miss it. Obviously, load shedding provided. We don't know what's going to happen, how things work out. It's a little bit hard to juggle these things at the moment. But however it is, watch that game. Go and support the casters, if it's whoever it may be, and support these teams because it's just it's a fascinating time to fall in love with the new Dota team in South Africa. But anyways, on that note, I think let's call it there. notAhero, any final words before we head off?
No, Aura just broke my brain. I need to go like recuperate and find out who I am.
All right, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. It has been an absolute privilege and a pleasure being part of this team that has brought you one of the most memorable matches you're going to see in a really long time. And hey, it's probably not over yet. On that note, we'll love you and leave you. Have a fantastic night further. We'll see you next time for some more EGL 1 action.